Ding, 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 ding. Welcome to the Fife 91 podcast. I'm Rocky, that's Gilly, it's Little Tate and Thumper, and there's Mick. Happy Mother's Day to everyone and all the sweet mommies that are in the world. Right now, I'm still working, but I'm going to be off in a couple of minutes, and then I'll join the podcast later. And whoever wants to take it off on this wonderful Mother's Day of 2025 may begin.
I will. I'll take the history of Mother's Day. You know, unlike Valentine's Day that was taken over by Hallmark and turned into a fucking racket for money. Here's just a little bit about Mother's Day. Western side, it's been around for a long time, but
World War One, right?
Before then.
Yeah, before then. So right here, Mother's Day was created by Anna Jarvis in 1908. So technically, when you see it, and then it became official in 1914.
I was close.
Technically, there's sisters that did it, or sister-in-laws that created it.
Well, and it goes back, you know, like one major tradition, United Kingdom's Europe.
Yep.
They're talking like, you know, all of it 1930s, and just appreciation for mothers out there. Julia Ward here, 1870. You know, Mother's Proclamation, 1873. So it kind of falls around, you know, a lot of tradition and years past. And
I wonder if she was hot.
Here, I got a picture of her.
You got a picture of her? Pull it up.
Of course, Gilly has a picture of her.
I'm just saying.
A picture of a
I pulled up the history of it. It showed the two sisters or sister-in-laws, right?
Yeah.
Here. God damn it. Where is it at? Or she might be the same person. I don't know. Just two different names. Right there. So,
yeah, Anna Jarvis right here on the right.
Yeah, but Anna Reeves Jarvis too. I don't know if that's the same person or not.
Yeah, they are.
So, okay.
I mean, they're sisters, but
I mean
that's what I mean. Like sisters, yeah.
I prefer the one on the left, but you know, I'd say that's not bad. I mean, especially for the day, lighting and photography and cosmetics being what they were, she'd probably be a smoke show nowadays.
You always see it without makeup on, right? That's how you know how beautiful they really are, without the makeup.
Dude, one time, man, after I'd gone on a couple of dates with my wife, right? I came over to her house, and she opened the door, and she was fucking, like, sick. Like, had a bad head cold. It was, like, I don't know, like 10:30, 11 in the morning, and she showed up to the door just looking like shit, right? And she was all embarrassed and stuff, and I'm like, God damn, you're still cute. This will work.
That's how you know if you can stay and look at them when they're sick, then that's how you know. That's one of the signs, I think.
And then you got to live with them for a little while and see how they really act.
That's true. That's true.
Well, they can put on a show for years too.
Oh yeah, that's definitely true as fuck. But you know, just a little appreciation, you know, for the women out there that are mothers, and you know, not the grifters we were talking about that use their kids to make fucking money off of.
No, man, that's inhuman, dude. That's just plain inhuman.
I got one. It's gonna make a lot of fucking people mad, especially this one. But people think that women, you know, are all fucking, you know, can't do nothing wrong. Look at this shit. Teacher of the fucking year in California. 30 years of life in prison for molesting elementary students.
Nice. Well done, lady. Well done.
So it goes to prove that everybody is fucking evil. Male, female, everybody's capable of fucking evil. That stereotype shit needs to go away, that women are the perfect one. I don't want to shit too much on Mother's Day, but you know, there's a lot of women that aren't fucking mothers. They don't deserve to be celebrated on Mother's Day.
There are some women out there that can't get pregnant, you know, that would be great mothers. So they have to adopt. or marry somebody that's already got kids.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's true.
And it's just that, and there's fathers too that fucking suck at life. So when Father's Day comes around, we're gonna shit on fathers too that are out there. So don't get your panties in a twist today. We'll come around fucking on Father's Day too.
Because it's only fair. Oh, sorry, Mick. Go ahead.
Oh, it's like a Full Metal Jacket. You know, I do not discriminate. You are all equally worthless.
Well, it's only fair because women put all the men in one fucking, the good ones and the bad ones, all up them the same, right? So it's only fair that men can do it to women too. So
you know what's crazy is on my Facebook feed, I always see on Father's Day all the single moms saying Happy Father's Day to me, blah 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 blah. You never see that shit on fucking Mother's Day with the single dads saying that the mom isn't in their life and shit. It's crazy. And like there's always a spotlight on bad dads, but not bad moms. You know, and I think it needs to change.
It does.
It does. It needs to go out there more. I mean, I had Captain Loomis when I was at EWTG Pack, had a friend of hers, guy, had his career ruined because it was the one night stand and that lover's remorse type shit.
Oh no.
And even after it was clear that she lied about the situation, he still didn't get his career back. It was fucking over. She lied about the situation. So, you know, this needs to come to light on every side.
Yep.
You know, at least in my opinion.
No, it definitely does.
And there are good moms out there, you know, like we were talking about earlier. You know, Mother's Day is for your mother. You know, I help my kids go get stuff for their mother. You know, my mother passed away years ago. So, you know, like I don't buy my wife Mother's Day stuff because she's not my mom. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's where it gets confused too. It's like you celebrate your mother, your father, not, you know, the person you're married to. In my opinion, they get anniversary, birthday, and Christmas, you know. And if it's Father's Day, guess what? I'm going to take my own money and go buy whatever the fuck I want.
Hell, most guys just want to get left alone for Father's Day anyhow.
Yeah. I'm going fishing like I did yesterday and got fucked up at a graduation party.
It's like some women like, well, I can man the grill for Father's Day. It's like, no, you're not touching my fucking grills or smokers. No, that's my domain right there.
Yep.
You know, if you want to cook in the house, cook in the house. But outside, that's mine.
And that's one good thing that my wife has always left. You know, Adrian lets me, that's my realm. She won't even try to touch it, you know.
Now the grill, the griddle, the smoker, all that shit, the Blackstone outside, all that shit, my territory, not to be touched.
Yeah.
And the thing is, she don't even want to. Like the time and the temperature and all that shit you got to consider. She's like, nah, I'll let you do it.
Which is funny because they're like, have no interest whatsoever. Like, that's all your shit. I could care less about any of that.
Well, see, and the thing is that people get so hung up on fucking time, right? You go by temperature of the fucking smoker and internal temp. That's all you need to worry about right there. You know?
Like me, you know, we've talked, I'm OCD like a motherfucker when it comes.
I know. Yeah. You call like, hey, I don't know if I got my fucking shit in the right fucking spot on the, you know, thermometer.
Right. Yeah. And that's
I gotta ask.
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. Gilly, when you made that smoker fried chicken, did you really just like take your chicken, wet it and dry it, dredge it up like normal, but instead of frying it, you just put it in the smoker?
Yep.
Goddamn, man, I'm gonna try that next time.
That was the copycat fucking recipe I sent you, the KFC smoker one.
It's called Ballistics KFC chicken. It's all YouTube, but I don't follow their recipe at all.
You're talking about Ballistic Barbecue?
Yeah.
Oh, I follow him. Yeah.
But when I still use the cornstarch club soda, right? You know,
cornstarch.
But like this time, I used pretzels, crushed up pretzels. You know, I didn't, crushed up the fine powder. Put that in with the flour, baking soda, and a lot of barbecue seasoning in that motherfucker. You know, and then after I get it everything breaded, I put it in the fucking fridge for 30 minutes or so. You know, you can put it in there for longer than that if you want. But 30 minutes is all you need. And I just put it on the fucking smoker. That's why I posted the first picture on Facebook that you saw with breaded chicken going on Big Bo
Yeah.
Because it got dark out time it got done, so I couldn't take a picture, you know, that would look fucking good and dark, you know, with the chicken coming off. So I was inside with it. Yeah, I mean, and you can use panko breadcrumbs for it. The first time I ever did was on the pit barrel on Big Dan. And fuck, I did, you know, skinless ones on that one, you know, and it turned out great, you know.
I'm going to do that next time, dude. That looks amazing.
As long as your smoker can get up to 300 degrees or 350, right? You're good. Oh, easy. But I kept Big Bo at 300 this time. Because like the pit barrel, you can't control it. I mean, you can, but you're gonna fucking have to put foil on that motherfucker. Fuck that. Let it do its thing. And that's at 365 right there.
No, 300. How long are you going?
Huh?
Oh, 300. How long are you going?
Oh, I don't go by time. I go by internal tip because I have the wireless pro. So I got the wireless probes. So I just watch it on my phone. Once it gets up to 185, I mean, I still check it every now and then, make sure everything's still going. Because I flip about halfway through. Right? I look at the internal tip. I get to about like 130 or something like that, 120. Then I'll check it, flip it. If I like it, if it's dark enough yet, I'll flip it and let it go.
Good to know.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy. And it's a lot healthier for you than fucking frying oil. You know, and if you're making it depends on what you want, because a lot of seasonings out there don't have a lot of sodium in them, too. Some of them do, some of them don't.
Yeah. Well, and it's thighs, too. And thighs being dark meat, man, they hold up a hell of a lot better than fucking breast does.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, people sleep on thighs. People sleep on those thighs. They stay juicy as shit.
Not anymore, dude. They got the memo because now thigh meat has went up in price.
Has it?
It has. It's went in price per pound.
Because everybody is finally watching all these cooking shows on Food Network, right? And they ain't using breast no more. They're using chicken thighs.
Or they hear us talking about chicken thighs, and you're like, motherfucker.
And see, a lot of people think 185, you can take it off at 165. But actually, there's times I take my thighs, if I'm doing competition style, get that bite through skin without the crunch, I'll take the 205 right there. Yeah. Because they will hold it. They will take it. It's still juicy as hell.
Yep.
But when you take it to 205, 195, 205, that bitch is falling off the bone. So you got to be careful when you dunk it in the sauce and, get it set for your final 10 minutes of cook. That bitch is fucking falling off the bone. You got to be careful with that.
You can tell Gail is excited because he's getting all close to the cotton camera. He's like, listen to me, bro.
Well, no.
Hold on, let me get up in there.
Well, that too, but my vertigo was fucking has been going off. So I played Diablo and ground out some Diablo today. So on the big screen on the 75-inch, so that really fucks me up sometimes.
I'm surprised you weren't laying on your side playing that motherfucker.
I was laying until you called. I was laying down on the couch playing that bitch.
So funny.
But yeah, I mean, Nick, one of these days you gotta have time to upgrade to a barrel.
I've been thinking about going.
See, right now, guys, last night when I was at that graduation party, I was like, dude, get you a barrel, man. Like, I was telling Bill the same thing. I was like, you got that Traeger grill with the pellet and shit. Like, get you a stick burner, brother. Like, you travel too much to be hauling that motherfucker around.
Well, see, a lot of people think, like, I started off with a barrel because my brother had one. He fell in love with it, right? The pit burner. Okay. Because that's the easiest one, the cheapest one of the cheapest ones out there to get started with. It really is. To see if you're going to like it. And it's a true set and forget. Then I fell in love with it. I'm like, I started watching like Memphis and May competitions, right? The Gateway came out with Mega Drum, right? did a whole hog in fucking 9 hours and won that competition. The biggest hog competition in the fucking world. Blew everybody's fucking mind. The Gateway's a little more expensive. They are the Cadillac of the drum world.
Who is?
Oh, go ahead.
Gateway drum smokers.
Yep.
Gateway?
Yep.
Made right here in Missouri.
Missouri?
Yep.
In
Missouri.
Missouri.
But they're a little more expensive, but I saved up because I wanted one. Now I got 2 of them. I got 2 of them. I got 2 pit barrels. But I gave my pit barrels to River because he's wanting to cook. Okay, I got the gateways. You got the pit barrel, son.
Now, y'all, any of y'all use a offset?
Yeah, I mean, offsets work great.
I never used an offset, but I'm thinking about one because I want to get myself a charcoal unit. Right now, because of the circumstances I got surrounded, how I got my grill and my smoker. Right now, I'm all propane, just because that's how it ended up. That's how it happened. Right.
But I'll tell you right now, the pit barrel, it's gonna be a lot cheaper than an offset. Be a lot cheaper.
Well, and you gotta seal up an offset too, because those fucking lids on each side don't seal all the way. So you actually got to go in with the sealer and seal them fucking down, because most of them don't seal down. Even the expensive ones, I've seen them lose smoke.
They use a lot less charcoal on the drums than the offsets do.
Yeah, that's true. But you got to seal it down for the heat to keep it consistent.
My open pit,
the drum, the fucking lid just seals it.
My open pit, I don't go through that much charcoal, but I also use wood with it at the same time. So I'll use a hardwood, and I'll throw a couple chunks in there with my my charcoal. That way I get both flavors,
Now, where are you at, man? You a mesquite fan, a post oak fan? Like, what do you like to run?
So I typically will use pecan wood on everything.
That's good.
I've heard good things.
A lot of people think that pecan should only be used for a couple things, but I use it on everything. But right now, I'm literally just using oak that I had in my backyard. I cut down a tree, and it's a really hard oak. And so the coals I get off of that will last forever. And they get hot. So, like in the video, I haven't sent it to you, I don't think, but the video of my steaks, that's got hard oak that I'm using on it, because I use my open pit barbecue as a grill too. So,
okay.
It basically my grill, if you think about it, you remember the deck grating, the metal deck grating that we walked on in the like engine rooms and shit like that.
Yeah, that corrugated deck grating. Yeah.
Open, it's open. Yeah, it's got the rectangles. That's what I use. That's the top part of my grill.
Oh, perfect.
And it's inch thick, so it'll never, it won't even bend with the heat. I mean, I can get that fucker up to 500 degrees easily, no problem, and it won't do shit. But it's 5 feet long and 3 feet wide, so I can actually start the fire on one side of it, put the food on the other side, and just use the smoke and heat, or I can go direct on it, and I can raise that grate up and down, closer to the coals or farther away from the coals. I can actually take it up a whole nother 9 inches or 8 inches or something like that if I want to right now from where I'm at. But right now I'm 16 inches above the coals. That's like perfect for what I do.
And also, like when it comes to the drums too, it creates its own smoke. So if you don't want to use no wood, you don't even have to, because the juice is down, creates its own smoke as it hits the coals.
There's been many times on my barrel that I won't put any wood whatsoever and just let the charcoal hit. So like your Webers and stuff that everybody uses and used to, it's the same way. Like Gilly's saying, like those juices will hit it. You'll hear it. Hell, sometimes it'll put it out. You got to be careful about putting that bitch out with the amount of the juices that come out.
But I'm sold on the hot and fast method when it comes to smoking. You know, you got your purists out there, right? You really do. They're like, oh, you got to be 225, 250 smoking. No, you don't, motherfuckers. No. If it's in the drum, you're still going to get the same amount of smoke. To smoke, you're only going to get about 40 minutes of fucking smoke penetration on any fucking smoker. That's going to be it. You know, you're not going to get smoke, penetrating 12 hours in. You're not going to.
No, remember on Food Network, they were talking Crike's Market, and the older guy was like, I don't like that slow method. I want hot and fast because I don't like the heavy smoke flavor. And there are people that don't like that heavy smoke, but they want barbecue.
But you can still get the heavy smoke on the drum too, hot and fast.
Well, see, if you throw in enough wood chunks, yeah.
Shit, all you got to add, if you want that heavy smoke flavor, depends on what wood you use, like hickory. If you put 2 in there, you're gonna know it.
Yeah,
especially the next day.
And everybody should steer clear of mesquite, man, because mesquite will give you that soot in there, and it will.
Oh, you're crazy, man! I love mesquite.
It's no. That creosote is bad for mesquite.
If you're on an open pit, it's not that bad. But if you're in a barrel, absolutely.
Yeah. Or even an offset too. Even offset.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, I'm not saying it's bad wood, but I'm just saying when it'll create the creosote, and it's the heaviest wood that does it.
Now, here's the wood I like to use. If I was going to use wood, I'll use pecan and mix it with apple and pecan. That's really good together right there.
I'll do apple and hickory.
I use apple for cheese and sausage. When I cold smoke, I like to use the apple wood.
Now, when I can get it, peach wood too.
Now, pretty much any fruit wood is good for pork.
Cherry's good. I mean, cherry's good for everything too.
Yeah,
right now,
beef, pork, chicken, fish, whatever. It just depends on what you like personally. That's what it boils down to on it.
Yeah, right now I'm processing a tree in my backyard that blew down in a windstorm, and it's a fucking cherry tree. So I'm taking
that'll be fun.
But all the big
just make sure debark it. Debark it though.
Well, yeah, I gotta season it first. I mean, I ain't gonna be ready.
Yeah, once you season it, debark it, because that's where a lot of people fuck up at. That's where you get a lot of that fucking bad smoke, because from the bark.
Yeah, you don't want that. No.
And it won't burn right either. It'll throw it off. Yeah. But like we're talking about, all of us have different ways. So, ultimate comes down to like how you want to do it. How do you want to cook it? What do you want to use? Fuck, I used a Weber with the offset, the half moon pans. Like, Thumper was saying, set it off to the side and you can smoke out of it using the snake method.
Yeah.
You just go down one end, you come back around, you go back and forth with your charcoal, and you can smoke that way too. So
now, I've been curious about the snake method. Now, charcoal to wood, you're doing about 50-50, I'm guessing.
It depends.
Yeah, I mean, like halfway through, I'd throw a chunk in, and at the end, I would throw a chunk in. That way, I still had a fire across, and then it could come back around. But that was when I was trying to smoke for 8 to 12 hours. You know what I mean? Like you got to kind of
how much time are you getting? Like how much time are you getting per foot?
About 4 to 6 hours, depending on how much air you're running. You know what I mean? Like your vents at the bottom and your vent at the top. So it's how hot you want it.
Hey, Nick, do you got Academy Sports out there where you're at?
A what?
Academy Sports?
Academy Sports. No, I've never heard of that. What is it?
Well, if you can find Academy Sports, the pit barrel, the PBX, the biggest one they make, they sell for $200 right there.
I wonder if I could get one at Cabela's.
I don't know about Cabela's, but on the Pit Barrel's website, those are $500. But I'll show you the other ones they have, because they got 3 models: the Junior, the Original, and the PBX.
And I've got an original. And you know what's cool about them? They make military plates.
Yeah.
So you can get a Navy one, draw out the rivets from there, and they send you the hardware for it. And now you got like a Navy emblem on it, and it has pit barrel, but Marines, Air Force, Army. So you can customize your shit. Aren't they veteran owned, if I remember right, too?
I'm not sure.
I think they are. Hey,
I
Gilly, did I ever send you video of my pit so you
Oh
could
yeah,
show Mick?
oh yeah.
Can you?
I think I got it. Let me get that pulled up here.
Because I don't know.
I'm
Mick's never
also
seen mine. Is it the
let me pull
video?
them up one.
Is it the video with the smoke rolling
I
out of it?
think I got it. I think so. So I'm gonna show them on the Pit Burrows website real quick since I
Yeah.
had it pulled up. All the different ones they have. Now, if you buy a Pit Burrow, do not buy the Junior. That's only a 14-inch one.
That's a mini if you're like
There
camping
you
and
go.
traveling.
Yeah. There you go, Mick. The 14-inch is $300 through Pit Barrel. The Classic is $400. The PBX is $500.
Damn, that's a lot of money for a barrel.
But it
I'm
works.
gonna say
It
right
really
there, that's a
does.
true. Those are true set and forget. As long as you got a good wireless probe, right? Boom, you set and forget the motherfucker right there. And the food comes out perfect every fucking time.
If you trust your probe like me with the OCD shit.
See, I have the Chef IQ wireless probes, and those are fucking spot on right there. All right, we go back to Hodges. We sent a lot of each other messages, so I gotta go back through all these motherfuckers.
I was gonna say I can send you it on Facebook Messenger.
Just go ahead and send it to me, so I don't have to try to look for it.
All right. Give me
Well,
one second.
that's
Well,
how
that way-
chefs are, man. We send it back and forth, man, to help each other out. Like,
Yeah.
hey, take a look at this. Like, test this one out.
I mean, it's all about how much you want to spend. But I'm gonna tell you right now, a good offset, you're gonna spend more than what a barrel is, guaranteed.
Yeah, the Oklahoma Joes, dude, are like $500, if not more. Last time I looked at Lowe's, they were.
Yeah.
And then you go to the Traeger, the pellet grills like Pit Boss and shit, and they're up there too. So
Shit, that one I had, last pit boss I had,
oh yeah,
the smoke cabinet on top, that was $900 right there.
Let me see what this one is. I don't know.
if you can find an older Pit Boss that has
Not
the
that one,
dial
Billy.
on it and
Not that
no
one?
wireless,
No.
you're fine.
Give me a second here.
I mean, the pit barrel works, but the one bad thing is if power goes out, you can't use it unless you got a generator.
Yeah.
That's the only bad thing about the fucking pellets.
Yep.
And that's the reason why I haven't gotten a Traeger is because I appreciate what it can do, but at the same time, I don't want to rely on anything that's that's electricity dependent.
But the thing is about the fucking, whether it's Traeger, Pit Boss, any pellet grill has fucking hot spots and cold spots.
Yeah.
And then you gotta fucking play around and find them bitches too.
Yep, because I had to play with my brothers quite a bit to find the areas, because you would see chicken char up and the other side it was like barely cooked. So like you're right, you got to find where your spots are in that thing. And the
that's why I thought
stick burners don't need that.
And that's why I finally went ahead. They got the one from Pit Boss that had the smoke cabinet, so I didn't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and you forgot too that you can put fucking rods in and hang your shit. So you can actually hang it, your meat.
The barrels, any barrel is meant to be, that's one thing it's meant for. And you can fit a lot of shit in there, a lot more than you can any other way.
Yeah, because you get 2 rods on either side. And I think it comes with like eight hooks, I think. So if you're doing ribs and shit like that, you can hang like 8 sets of ribs on there. And
but you can also get too fucking a foldable grate,
which I got. Down. Yeah, I picked that one up a while back.
So that way, if you have to add more charcoal to it, if you're on the grate, you can have that set down. You can add more charcoal to it.
Yep.
If you need to.
And I'll tell you what, man, I did a turkey on that motherfucker for Thanksgiving last year with it hanging, because they come with hangers for birds, full like chicken and, whole birds.
Yeah.
And that thing was, I think, like 6 hours to do like a 20-pound turkey. And it came out fucking delicious because I just used the turkey broth that I made, and you could still taste the smoke in the broth. So I had like smoked chicken noodle soup with, from the turkey, so it's very versatile, man. I think everybody should get one of those, but that's just me. I'm being biased and all.
Oh, I ain't fucking biased. I ain't biased, but I've like offsets too. Because I've looked at those offsets. I said, Brett, all right, Thumper, and fuck you, Bick. Those great big motherfuckers, the 500-gallon ones. But those are fucking anywhere from fucking $5,000 to fucking $30,000 right there.
Fuck that.
And you know what? The offset takes up a hell of a lot of room, and the pit barrel doesn't. You can put that thing on a couple blocks, and it's stand. You can put it out on the deck because mine's out on a fucking wooden deck. Yeah. Barely takes up any room. And
this is the pit barrel right here. Hangs on rebar. Right there.
Yeah.
All right. Check what Hodges Thumper just sent me. You want this one with the steaks?
2 short ones one's the steaks and then one's the
which one? Smoke. You want both of them?
You show them the one with the steaks, which is direct heat, and then the smoke rolling out of it the way I made it.
Well, I'm gonna go opposite. I'm gonna go first to smoke.
Okay. It's just a short video.
Yeah. And then, all right. God damn it.
It creates a shit ton of smoke, and that lid holds it in.
All right. Share this.
Damn.
Yeah.
Look at that.
I love that deck grate fucking Thumper, man. That brings me back to the days being in the engine room, boy.
Yep.
Yeah. And it works fucking phenomenal, dude. Nothing sticks to it. It's crazy. And and when I did the turkey and the chicken on it at the same time, dude, I had the turkey set off to the side. I had them basically one on each side of the fire, and dude, they came out golden fucking brown, dude. They were fucking perfect. It was amazing how well, and the smoke, the flavor was it penetrated the whole fucking turkey. It was amazing. I did a turkey for my neighbor and a chicken for my neighbor and a turkey for myself, and it came out so fucking good. Those right there, like some of the best turkeys I've ever smoked on open pit. It's pretty crazy. I was pretty happy with it though.
I will say this about hanging though. Don't hang your breast down like they show. Hang it down with the legs because like we talked about dark meat, it will keep that breast white meat and dry. Or not dry, but it'll keep it moist. Because that heat will hit the bottom of the legs and stuff. I learned that on like one of the young roaster chickens, doing it breast down. That shit dried out like a motherfucker.
Yeah, instead of asking me first, because I always do my breast up. Because you want your thighs to be at a higher temperature than what you want your breast. Because the thighs can take a hell lot more than what the breast can.
Yes, it can.
Yeah. But some people will say too, some people like on Pit Burl's Facebook page, right? They're like, well, it's hotter at top. No, motherfucker, it ain't.
It's hotter closer to the fire.
Yep. But their argument is heat rises, right? That's what they'll say.
Well, yeah, but it's hotter at the source of the fucking heat.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's why we all laugh at them motherfuckers. Like, but you can't beat a stick burner like we're all showing. Like we said, have no electricity. You don't have to worry about it. You could cook anything with the end of the world coming on that motherfucker.
There you go. I just sent you that.
I got it. I'm getting ready to share it. Here's his birds right here.
Here you go, Nick.
Fuck, here we go. Oh,
so
nice.
I spatchcocked the chicken on the left, and then that's the turkey on the right.
That's an itty bitty turkey, man. Where'd you find that fucking thing?
Actually, That's a really big fucking chicken. that turkey's like 18 pounds.
Damn, it looks small. Maybe it's just because of the way how big your pit is then.
Yeah, my cock ain't tiny, just the bush is really large.
Hold on. Let me put it on video to look bigger.
See,
it's all about the angles.
See, like Hodges, he's got to flip him, right? He does. But on the barrel, if you hang him, there ain't no flipping him at all.
Nope.
No, I gotta ask, at what point does the you got the hanging thing, right?
Yeah.
At what point is it cooked so much that it goes fall off the bone and the thing just falls into the fire?
Well, you got to get it around the fucking knuckle, around the joints. It won't come off. As long as you got it set right, have that wing over it right, it won't come off.
That's why.
Because they hang ribs. Fucking Boston butts, everything. Brisket too.
It's a little bit harder to hang a fucking butt though, pork butt, because of where you got to get it lodged in to be level on the rods. But when you do, they make that. Go ahead, Gilly. They make that like T that goes up through the center from the ass to the neck. And then you ain't got to worry about it. Like it'll stay right fucking there. It ain't going nowhere.
I know I got a picture somewhere.
and they break down too, because you got the hole through the center and then the rod goes through to hang on there. So it breaks down so you don't have like a permanent rod on there.
I see.
Yep.
I mean, it's an extra piece that you got to buy, but whatever.
Man, whatever.
But I still use because like the Gateway don't come with a hanging system, like not a rebar. You got their own hanger that fits inside there, right? I use that fucking chicken hanger, turkey hanger on that one too.
See, I'm getting ready to make my own bacon on my open pit.
Yeah,
I'm gonna make bacon, and I just got to cure it, and then I'm gonna smoke it on the open pit, and then slice it up.
Have you tried jerky on that thing yet?
Not yet. I'm going to though. I got a shit ton of deer and stuff, and I'm gonna be making some fucking deer jerky.
That's gonna be tricky, man, because your jerky, you don't want that temperature to go above 175. You want it to dry and not cook.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's a real tricky line right there. That's the reason.
I just gotta find. Well, the good thing about my smoker, the good thing about my pit is I have a bunch of room, right? So all I got to do is find that sweet spot in that area that's going to be about 170 with that fire, and I'll know how big the flames and stuff or the coals need to get in order to make that zone where it needs to be, and then I'll just tend to it all day.
There you go, Mick. You're asking about how it doesn't fall off, right? This is the better one. This is not the one I want to show, but you see how it's hooked around the wing?
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, so
that's how you keep it from falling off, right there.
Yeah, all right, I see.
I know I got one with a turkey hanger somewhere.
Shit, I gotta find mine.
And see, I can hang in mine too, because I can lift my grate up more, and then smoke that way. And I'm gonna get another piece of the lid that I got, that steel roofing material. I'm gonna get another piece to where I can close off the front end of it and turn it into a smoke house, basically a smoke pit, like and close it, and then I can hang the bacon and stuff on my grate and have the heat off to the side, and that'll smoke it more evenly.
Well, here you go, Mick. You're talking about jerky. This is what I had the pit barrel or the pit boss with the smoke captain right there. I had Slim Jims and regular jerky right there.
Oh yeah.
And that was at 150 degrees right there. No higher than that.
Now you make your own Slim Jims. You got them collagen casings, and you grind your own meat and whatnot.
No casings.
Oh, no casings.
I got the gun that does a jerky, and because I use ground e-meat, right? Just like what I did deer.
Right. Yeah.
I ground it up. Then I did either gun or fucking press to make it. instead of slicing that shit. But if you have to go with ground stuff, you don't need a fucking casing on it at all. Because I can't have the casings anyways.
Seriously?
That's all. No.
Not even
because
hog?
they're all because even turkey jerky, right? Turkey Slim Jims,
Yeah.
guess what they have? A beef casing on the bitches.
I thought hog casings were the standard.
Nope. Beef. I can't have hog either.
You can't have hog either, yeah.
Beef, pork, deer, elk, any of that shit.
That was where my turkey came out of that pit barrel.
Nice.
And you can see where the legs pull back and
that looks gorgeous.
But I had to do it in the fucking rain though. I think I still got that picture.
I don't have the picture of the bitch hanging with the turkey hanger.
Yeah, I didn't get it with it hanging, but you can get it in there.
Of all the pictures that I've taken, I didn't take one fucking with that one.
I know, I think all of us forget. But
I'll grab it real quick. So it'll show Nick what it does.
So this will give you a reference. Oh shit, sorry. Like how big it is. You can set it anywhere the fuck you want to. Put my beach umbrella out there to keep the rain off of it. But it fucking worked. You know what I'm saying? Like, nice. It's very versatile. You see that size is very, small. It has a very small footprint. So you can fucking put it anywhere you want to.
Yeah, mine's really big.
Yeah, you're kind of like a permanent fixture, like Gilly has the gateway. It's very similar to the same thing. You don't got to wheel the motherfucker around or any of that shit. You just set it and go.
Yeah, mine is pretty much permanent. I mean, I can move it, but that's a pain in the dick because it's so many fucking. If I have all the courses of block up, and I bring the whatever that's 42 cinder blocks, and then the gate the grading, that grading, dude, is so fucking heavy. Is heavy. Yeah. Like I struggle to move it on my own.
This is what the turkey hanger is, chicken hanger.
You got it upside down, dickhead.
I know, but still.
There you go.
On it. And also, I couldn't find my fucking. To get one of these two, you could do gyro meat because it screws in the fucking poker right there.
Did you just call it gyro meat?
He did.
Gyro meat. Gyro, fuck it. Yes, I did.
Gyro, bitch.
I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. But I mean, dude, there's lots of shit you can do, attachments wise.
I think we've told Mick more than enough about holes and shit.
He's probably like, man, this is too much. I don't want to fucking smoke shit no more.
Oh, hell no. I want to smoke more now. Are you kidding me?
He's going to fucking end up. I got a feeling he's going to end up with a burn.
He's going to end up like you with fucking 5 of them and shit.
I only got 4. I only got 4 barrels.
No, but you're trying to get the mini one to bring with us to North Carolina.
Yeah. And the thing, I'm going to call him and see, because we'll be down there going through St. Louis, right? Because I'm going to see if they have the bitch in stock, right? Instead of having to ship it here. Because shipping is fucking $100 to have it shipped here. It's a flat $100 shipping nationwide, right? Fuck it,
Oh, so have that motherfucker shipped to fucking Rockies?
No. I'm gonna see if I can pick it up at the store.
Oh, okay, I got you.
I'm like, I'm gonna get a detour.
Detour to the store.
Here's what I'll show you, Mick. Well, we're talking about here. All right. I just love how I type in gate and it comes up automatically.
It's because we're talking about it. And everybody's going to get ads on their phone for pit barrel and shit.
There you go. There you go, Mick. This is the perfect one that Gateway makes for fucking like camping or something like that. You can get body legs extensions for it and everything if you want.
No shit.
Can we just get that for the fucking trip?
That's what I'm thinking about getting right there.
Dude, I said, I got a sunroof. We could pop the fucking sunroof open, the back windows, and fucking let that.
Why is the car on fire?
Cook all the way down the fucking road, bro.
But I'm gonna call them. But I am gonna call them because we'll be going right by them. Here, you know where they're at.
Yeah.
If they have that in stock, not the black one, but the red one, got the red one in stock, I'll be like, hey, can you just hold it for me? I'll go ahead and pay for it. We'll be there at this time to pick it up.
I mean, shit.
You'll be fucking causing crashes down the road, man. People will be smelling that.
No, we'll get fucking pulled over. We'll get fucking pulled over, have a chill somewhere. They'll be thinking we're fucking stoners.
Right? It'd be like,
fucking
are you
smoke rolling out
bacon?
the fucking vehicle? As long as we keep moving, we'll be okay. We won't get carbon monoxide poisoning.
No, you'll be fine.
Just hope we don't get stuck in traffic. You know?
Oh shit! Right?
Well, see, I'll show you the red. And the red one, Mick, holds up to fucking the paint on it to 1,000 degrees, so it's perfect for hot, fast fucking pizza. If you like your pizza, 750 degrees.
Yeah, proper New York pizza needs to be at least 700 degrees. I make it okay on the grill at about 550, but it needs 700 to be like correct.
Yeah, that's that dome. Like you need that oven and that dome to really heat up.
Yep. And the bad thing is, I got a fucking pizza oven, a pellet one, that I've never fucking used. It can be pellet or gas. I've never fucking used it yet. You know.
What I do is I crank a gas grill. I take a gas grill, I get it cranked all the way the fuck up. And I'm talking maxed out, and I leave it on for about 15, 20 minutes. Like to get just everything saturated with heat.
Yep.
Then I put the pizza on a cast iron pizza stone and I throw it in there. And 6 minutes, roll in, rotate it, drop the lid real fast to keep the heat in. Another 6 minutes or so, it's done. It's not quite New York. Because New York has that really thin crust and the top is doughy and the bottom is crispy and there isn't a hell of a lot in between.
And you got to have that char on the undercarriage to be a true New York pizza.
Yeah, and I do the cornmeal on the bottom to make sure it glides, on and off that pizza stone. And I can get about 75-80% of that experience with what I got. But without that extra 200 degrees, it's not quite the same.
Oh yeah.
And that's just a fact of life, man, unfortunately. It's like Neapolitan pizza. That shit's 1,000 degrees. Like they will take a Neapolitan pizza, put in a 1,000-degree oven, slide it in, 30 seconds, rotate. Another 30 seconds, pull it. It is done.
Yep.
Good pizza requires fucking really high temps, really fast cook.
That's because the Italians don't worry about fucking global warming and they use that charcoal in them motherfuckers.
Oh, dude, those Dagos don't give a fuck. Love them.
And the funny thing is about pizza, right? In the 1800s, that was considered peasant food.
Yeah, bread and cheese.
Until the Queen of Italy went by a shop, smelt it, and had a pizza made for her, and then the elites like, oh, this ain't so peasant food no more.
Yeah. It was like fucking back during the Depression, that was the genesis of meatloaf.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mixing in breadcrumbs and onions and all sorts of stuff to make the meat go further, and now they got gourmet meatloaf.
Well, same way with fucking chili, because true chili has no beans in Depression. They put fucking beans in it, assholes.
Well, true chili has no meat either.
Actually, yes, it does. The Texas chili, they use the tougher cut of beets that takes all day to slow cook.
I'm talking about Mexican chili, the original.
Oh, Mexican chili. I'm talking about Texas chili. American
Texas chili. Yeah, Texas chili had meat. Yeah, but you're right, though. It had no beans.
No beans.
It's like, where's Rocky so we can talk to him about fucking Mexican chili?
Right, we need a Mexican in this conversation.
You're damn right we do.
So good.
Oh, my God.
But, I do.
I'll throw meat. I'll throw fucking beans. I don't give a shit. It's all going in the chili.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that one.
Yep. Because I
don't like beans. Never have. So I don't. Nope.
I grew up not liking beans until later in life, though.
That's like chuck wagon stew.
Oh, God.
You get me started on some fucking chuck wagon stew now. We'll talk about some fucking ingredients.
Okay, what the hell is chuck wagon stew? I've heard
It's
of
a
it.
beef stew, like a beef stew, pretty much.
I've heard
It's
of
a
it.
beef stew, like a beef stew, pretty much.
Oh, okay.
Basically,
So-
what it is.
So basically, the cook on the wagon trains would make this stew out of pretty much scraps of everything.
All
Which
right.
was beef at the time.
It was, well, yeah, you had beans, you had vegetables, you had scraps of meat. I mean, it depends. I mean, they fucking had cowtail in that fucking shit, back in the day.
But if you cook
But
cowtail long enough,
it had liver in it. It had beef liver. It
Beef
had
tongue.
Yep, tongue. I mean, if it was edible, it was in it.
Yeah. See, a lot of people don't realize everything on a fucking hog and cattle is fucking edible. You just got
From the rooter to the tutor, baby.
well, I've heard that like a lot of the cow tongue and the beef cheek, literally the jaw muscle, they're working muscles, so they're damn near and edibly tough unless you stew or slow cook the hell out of them. But because they're a working muscle, they got like a beefy flavor that's you just don't get it in any other part of the animal.
Nope.
So that old fucking chuck wagon stew is probably delicious if what you're saying is right.
Yeah.
Hey,
I made it.
The boat didn't make a bad recipe either, man. The ships made a pretty good chuck wagon stew.
Yeah. Yeah, they did.
Well, it depends on who's cooking it. Filipinos can't cook it right.
They're good at rice.
I made my shit in cast iron.
that beef yakisoba was always good.
Yes, that was always good. Yes. But they always fucked up biscuits and gravy. Those stupid fucking Filipino bastards.
Oh, biscuits were always fucking gummier than shit.
No shit.
Fuck.
You had to have a white boy or a black boy cooking those biscuits for them to turn out good. You had to.
Because I tell you what, man, I make a biscuit.
Or a woman like Little, she could make pretty good. On the boat, she did.
Oh, Little.
She wasn't so little with those big old titties.
I actually dated her for a while, and I
shit.
can personally attest to a thing or two.
I was a roommate for a while.
Oh fuck!
Okay, so
when I lived with Pirates and Richardson,
yeah,
we were always drinking and always doing some crazy shit.
Yeah. I'm just glad I got to her first, because after I broke up with her, she went completely off the rails.
That was my second apartment, because the other one lived on Casino Road with like 7 other people in that fucking apartment, with like Murillo and Unruh and Wilson and Braswell and all them.
Unruh with his fucking mic in his room.
That motherfucker! I swear to God, dude. So the arrangement in that apartment was, if you paid more than everybody else, you got a room, right? So of course I'm like, I want a fucking room. So I paid more for fucking my rent than other people. And I come home one day, I come through the fucking door and I turn left and I go into my fucking room. And there's a goddamn motorcycle ripped apart in the middle of my room, because I had to share the room with Unruh. And there's fucking oil and gas on the carpet and all this shit. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Was it Unruh fucking like from upper Minnesota, like Canadian and shit?
Pretty much. And he with his fucking don't you know and shit. I'm like, God damn it, Unruh. It's like, this isn't a fucking motorcycle repair shop, it's our fucking room. And then there's gas in the fucking carpet and oil and shit. So finally because this fucker was ripped apart. He finally got it together and then fucking rolled it out and tracked fucking oil through the fucking apartment. It's like, Jesus Christ. Like,
when you said Unruh, I was like, I had to bring that up.
Yeah. After that, dude, it was like, all right, no more motorcycles in the fucking apartment. Like,
you're done. You're cut off.
Damn it. All I wanted to do was get in there, get on my laptop, talk to some chicks on AOL in the chat rooms, maybe try to hook up somewhere. And here I am, I got a fucking motorcycle in the middle of the room, leaking fluids everywhere. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Dude, I gotta say, I never thought I'd hear something that made my apartment shenanigans sound tame, but yeah, here we are.
You haven't heard the shenanigans with Pirates, Richardson, Little, and me then. I got fucking pictures of the NEX at Everett had
Yeah.
Mad Dog or had Red Dog beer on
Oh, yeah.
sale, 30 packs for $5.99. I bought like 40 of them, 30 packs. There's a picture of me in the room, in my bedroom, with them as a pyramid and all the fucking Playboys and shit stacked up on them. And we used to fucking drink every night. And these motherfuckers, Richardson and Pirates, love to fight each other. Shit getting broke, fucking beer cans all over the fucking place. It was a rough apartment. And we always had fucking cops at our apartment and shit. And I was underage. At least I know I was at least underage. I was fucking 20, I think. Because that was when I was cranking and shit. We'd show up fucking drunk as shit to the ship to start fucking making breakfast. Oh, it was so bad.
Y'all remember Macaulay?
Oh, yeah.
So I'm at a party one time, right? We had my apartment was right above. Remember Jackson and Shupak or Tupac?
Yeah.
Shupak, yeah.
Shupak, yeah.
They lived below me, right? I lived up above them, and across the little parking lot we had right there was Macaulay's place, and he liked to throw parties. So one time he's throwing a Halloween party, and let's see, Hughes has got his Dixie hat upside down with a striped sheet on with a cord. He's dressed as a dildo, right? He's dressed as a fucking vibrator. And Macaulay, because back then nobody gave a fuck, was dressed up as a neo-Nazi. He had the wife beater, he had the freaking swastika, he had the white, the military pants with the black shoes and the white laces. Like he's straight out of American History X, right? And of course, we're all military. We all talk equal amounts of shit, regardless of race. So nobody gave a fuck. It was just him doing a goof. It was funny. Well, this party got completely fucking out of hand, like his parties ended up doing, and the cops got called on us. Knock, knock, knock. White supremacist. Macaulay opens the door, and there's a black Everett officer. So he had to explain that real quick. Like, yeah, no, I'm just having a goof here. This is a Halloween party. What can I do for you?
I remember being over by the Everett Mall. When we stand there, like Tom and Donovan, when we first got an apartment, we went down the road to the more ritzy fucking apartments and was stealing TVs out of there. So we had a fucking TV to play PlayStation on.
Oh, Jesus.
And then like Thumper was saying, remember how Budweiser used to have like the heavy cardboard boxes?
Yeah.
We drank enough to make an entertainment center out of fucking cardboard boxes and shit. But we had an apartment. We weren't on the fucking boat.
I'll find my pictures. I'll find my pictures. They're downstairs in a book. Because my first wife, Melissa, the one that I lived with in Snohomish, she made like a scrapbook of all that shit. Because I met Melissa when I was living with Richardson and Pirates over there in Little, and she knew them really well. And
wasn't she a stripper?
No, she was not.
Are you sure about that?
No, she was not. She was not a stripper. I was not doing that. There might have been a stripper I fucked several times.
No, that was Mickelson that had the stripper wife.
Well, I know, and Vaughn too. And Vaughn.
Yeah. Well, Vaughn's wasn't a stripper.
She was a hooker. Never mind.
Yeah. Down there in fucking
Peru. She was the hooker from Peru that.
No, she was Chile.
Was he?
Chile, yeah.
That's right. That was in Chile. That was Santiago.
Women in Coquimbo. It was a group of women in Coquimbo, and they followed us everywhere.
Yes, because the OXO told them where the fuck we were going.
Yep. It turned into a big thing because they were down in Coquimbo, Chile, and all of a sudden, guess what? They're down in Valparaiso, Chile. And then all of a sudden, they're in fucking Panama. It's like, how the fuck are they finding us? And it's because, And what's funny is I may have fucked her.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
And that's what's hilarious. It's like, I know what that's like.
Oh, my God.
Oh,
Hey
that's
Vaughn,
so
how does
funny.
my dick taste in your mouth?
Oh God, love you, Vaughn. If you're watching this,
Oh, hey, come on. He won't do it. He won't do it.
We gotta
He's
get.
probably afraid you're going to tell stories like that.
oh God,
Where's
yeah, because
Streblo?
that
We gotta
was
get Streblo on here sometime too.
Fuck. Oh, God. Yeah. Old Virgin
Yeah.
Boy.
He might go off the rails though.
Hey, Mick, remember how I showed you the holders for the gyro meat? I found the ones on the picture of me cooking the gyro meat or hero, whatever the fuck.
Fucking gyro meat.
It's gyro meat to me, right there. Got the little spike going down to it.
Yeah.
That's all chicken thighs right there. That's all that is.
You shave it off the side.
Yep. I need to buy me one of those fucking shavers, electric fucking shavers. Yep.
Yep.
You ain't got a fucking
One of
enough
those.
room in your fucking kitchen for that shit.
I made room in my fucking drawers for some more attachments. God damn it.
That's kind of the same as shawarma, right?
Yeah.
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 But I did like a Greek honey glaze on it. That's what I did.
Nice.
Because Greek is big with honey, right?
Yeah.
So I got some of the local honey from my aunt and uncle, Silver Creek honey, and mixed it with that. And it came out fucking great.
Yeah, I like shawarma and stuff like that. It's so
Oh,
good.
remember the shawarma truck that was there in Bahrain that was always on base?
Yep.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Fuck, that
They
thing
would
was
always,
so good.
they would come down to the piers and then they would go over to those barracks for the Marines.
Yep.
They'd sit out there. They'd sit, out on the street because they couldn't pull into that area because it was all landmined and shit around it. But
Yeah, they fixed all that when they built up that base. I know you were there later on. And
Yep.
See, I wish I could have fucking lamb. Because all my shit would be lamb like that. Perfect.
Yeah, everybody sleeps on lamb too, but it's expensive now.
yeah.
Well, and most like here in mid Missouri, a lot of stores will not carry it unless it's fucking Easter. Dude.
There's
Shit,
a
I
lot of
don't care
places here
about-
that carry it. There's a lot that carry it here year round. It's
But I
just
mean,
you never see anybody eat it. Nobody buys it.
Well, that's why a lot of like stores here in Missouri, they'll sell it for Easter time, right? Like even in Columbia, it's hard to get Columbia.
It's just because people aren't used to it anymore. It used to be that was one of the main livestocks, and now there's the money. It's not as steady as it used to be, and cattle and pork have pushed that out because the slogan, "The other white meat" or "Where's the beef?" Those were actual campaigns to push other foods out of the market.
Well, I figured in Columbia, right? Because like Columbia's got a big Middle Eastern fucking population, right? A big one. That they don't even their stores don't carry it.
Even here, there's Europeans, Bosnian, Croatian, Macedonian. There's some Serbians here. They're big on lamb, and I mean they sell it like their stores sell it, but the grocery stores, I don't think I've ever seen anybody buy lamb. But
what about out there in Washington, Mick? Do you guys get lamb out there?
Anytime you want. The grocery store has it. The local butcher I go to has it. Pretty much any place.
Well, and y'all still have lamb, and y'all still got fucking herds out there, don't you? Too, don't you?
Yeah. Well, the thing is about lamb, though. I mean, I see it, but honestly, man, that flavor it's got, that pungence, I'm not a huge fan of it. Like I like a good shepherd's pie because the lamb is like the flavor is somewhat subdued by the onions and the gravy and everything else, and that little bit of that gamey flavor comes through, and it's pretty good. But like a straight up, just like a big old piece of lamb, it's too funky.
On that you got to marinate it. That's what you got to do to get rid of that funkiness.
Yeah, see, I've never marinated it before, so that funkiness always kind of turns me off. But
it's the same way when we have deer, right?
Yeah,
you got to do the same thing. Elk it depends on if they leave a lot of fat in it, right? Now, if you take all the fat off the deer and just have the pure red meat elk, there's no gamey taste to it. But you take it to a fucking butcher shop to have it quartered up right, have it processed for you. They put everything, the fat, everything. That fat's no good on deer and elk. It's no good.
It goes rancid.
You gotta get that shit because there's no flavor in that fat.
Right.
Man,
so you got when I processed deer, my own deer. But me and my dad started this when I was growing up because it got so expensive. Fuck, we did our own. Dad's like, take the fat off. It's a hell of a lot better meat. It was too.
Man, when Tom and Donovan moved out, because I was already above them in Washington with Adrian, they were moving out. So they had a bunch of moose and elk and shit they got, because they're from Wyoming and Montana. They threw that shit up onto my fucking overhead porch. Tom was like, hey, go check your porch. And I was like, okay. There's fucking like packages of fucking meat sitting on my fucking porch because they just been put and throwing that shit up there, man. Nice. And it was ground elk, like burger, moose steaks, elk steaks and shit. And man, I cooked that and it was gamey, but it was fucking good. And you're right, Gilly, there wasn't a lot of fat on them. There might be a little thin strip in there.
Yeah.
That was it.
Elk
ungulates don't tend to have a lot of fat.
Wild game is some of the best for you. I mean,
it's
got some of the most protein and it's got the least amount of fat in it. It's crazy. But coming from Iowa, we're hogging fucking cattle country here, and even our hogs are actually pretty healthy. People don't realize that pig is actually pretty fucking healthy for you.
Yeah.
It's actually lean. A lot of the cuts are lean. I just cooked some massive fucking thick pork chops. I don't know if you saw those on Facebook. I made one. Yeah. I fucking posted. I did a sweet glaze on it. And fuck, they were so good. And I haven't had a good pork chop in years because my soon-to-be ex wouldn't eat pork because it would make her sick. The enzymes or something in it would cause her to get sick a little. So I haven't really cooked pork in years. And it was so nice to be able to just cook two of them. And my son and I fucking devoured them. They were so good. And I cooked those in a cast iron.
Yep.
I think that's part of like where they graze too, like how like Indiana's the same way like you are.
It's all about
where they eat and what you feed them. Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, my buddy raises pigs, I should say. At least he used to. He had he had his third child, now his fourth, and he's like, you know what? I'm done with the hogs. Too much work. He cut that one thing out. But when he was raising hogs and I'd go in, I'd get a whole hog or a half a hog, depending on the size and all that. At the time, I had a couple apple trees in my backyard, and they were yielding just like way more apples than I would ever fucking use. And so I would, keep certain ones for my personal use, but all the rest of them, I'd throw them in a big pile. He'd come by with his truck, and, I'd load them in, and he'd just feed the apples to his pigs. And, man, I tell you what, dude, when I got that pork, woof, you could tell the fucking difference, man.
Yep.
Pigs have been getting fat on fruit. Holy shit.
Well, you seen what the Vegas hog guy did. He takes all the buffet stuff and a lot of fruit shit, and he feeds it to his hogs. Like, they get rid of the plastics and all that shit and the crab shells and shit, but they feed them all the buffets in Vegas. He feeds that slop in.
Well, it's like there's a guy out there by you, Little Tate, I think South Carolina area, called the Hog Father, right?
Yep.
Yeah. He fucking feeds them fucking mayonnaise because y'all watch Moonshiners, right? A digger and fucking his partner, right? Mark, had a bunch of mayonnaise bottles. They try to get rid of, get the mayonnaise out to see if Moonshine can fit in the plastic bottle, right? They took it to the tank, and he fed all that to them, But he has some of the best fucking heritage hogs nationwide, right there.
We had a spot right near us out of town that did Yorkshires for years, man. And it smelled like shit, but man, that was some of the best pork you could get.
Yeah, my last hog from my buddy was when he decided to kind of go homogenous of one breed, and he was raising guinea hogs, little smaller, but
Yep.
I'll tell you what, the quality of that meat was outstanding.
So speaking of grain and stuff, I got a new grain mill, and I might be making some corn mash maybe here pretty soon.
Oh, and whatever would you do with corn mash?
They only catch you on the sugar, dude. When you're buying like 200 pounds of sugar, they're like,
Well, here in the Midwest, you can make so much for your own consumption legal.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Thumper, shine on, you crazy diamond.
This thing is
speak-
this thing is it's funny because I got it actually because I want to mill my own flour too. You know, I don't want the additives in it, the folic acid and stuff.
Sure,
And
okay.
well, I was like, you know, I could probably use it for that too. But then I'm like, I looked up the like for videos to like set it up and everything because it didn't come with instructions. I bought it from fucking Walmart, and it didn't come with instructions. And the very first video was some moonshiners with the step down model of mine, and they were talking about it. I'm like, well, looks like I'm not the only one with this fucking.
Well, that's because the Chinese don't know how to make moonshine.
This thing is fucking huge, and so it'll do dry grind and it'll do a wet grind. It has some wet stones in it.
Yeah.
So you can actually do wet grinding too, which is pretty fucking cool. But I want to make my own masa, my own flour, and then maybe a couple, you know, whatever.
You know, you said wet ground. I just picked up a fish breading. I showed Gilly. I didn't put it out to everybody. And it's out of North Carolina. And they do the wet grinding flour and stuff. Like I said, it had a little bit of folic acid in it, but I'll tell you what, that shit cooked up great, man.
Send it in the group so I can see it. Because I want to see, it might be something that I might be able to reproduce without the folic acid in it.
Give me 1 second. I sent it to Gilly a while back. But I found their chicken breading mix too. So
nice.
it was really, I'm gonna test it out probably tomorrow. But 1 second. I'll get it out.
Now could you substitute vinegar for folic acid?
You don't know. Folic acid, really, the only thing, so your body does not need folic acid. We've been lied to for fucking years and years.
They started that when women were fucking for the pregnant women. That's what they did.
Yeah, that's what I heard about that. Yeah.
So the actual folic acid is not the actual compound you need. You need like methylfolic. It's something completely different. So like 40% of humans can't even process folic acid. And actually, there are people that are linking it to ADHD. And I can vouch for that because my son was on ADHD medication. I have cut folic acid out of his diet. He's no longer on ADHD medications, and he has no problem with concentration at this point whatsoever. And he feels better. So cutting folic acid out of our diet has made wonders. I mean, leaps and bounds. And including my mom who has MS. She's actually lost weight and all kinds of other stuff because she started eating clean and getting that folic acid out of her diet. And so that was one reason why I got this mill, because I don't want the folic acid. And there's a law that states if you buy flour, if you sell flour to consumers, you have to put folic acid in it.
Really?
Yeah. Now,
well, it depends on who's buying it. Because Key Arthur Bakery does not have no folic acid in their shit.
There is a way around that law, but most places will not do it. They have to sell the folic acid. But,
yeah, that's that enriched shit. That's why, like, when you get pasta from Italy, it doesn't have it in there, and they don't have to worry about it.
Anything that says enriched or fortified, that enriched and fortified, both of those mean the same thing. It means that they've put folic acid in your flour. And you go overseas, it's not in any of that shit. Europe has outlawed folic acid. Basically, it's not in anything.
Oh, I sent the pictures for you.
I saw. So the and actually by milling my own flour, I'm gonna have the gluten in it, which the whole wheat berry is what your body actually should have. And they separate that when you buy flour. So you're actually
it has to be
depriving
unbleached
yourself.
too. That flour has to be unbleached.
Yep.
Because when they bleach it, that takes all the nutrients out of it.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
the same thing he's saying. Like bleached, fortified,
Yep,
enriched is all the same thing. So when you see those on your ingredients, you know that you're getting that shit, itself.
Yep.
That's why all my flour, even my fucking pasta mixes, right? For pizza dough, everything comes from King Arthur Bakery. Just has none of that shit in it. I don't buy that shit in the store. I get it straight from them.
Be careful with that because some King Arthurs do have that in it because I've looked at it.
But the ones I get does not have that in
it. The small like 5-pound bag.
Yep.
That one. But if you get the large bag of that, it's the exact same. That one is actually enriched and fortified.
Yeah. I get the small bag because I just need the small bag, and my pizza dough that I get, and pasta dough, has none of that shit in it.
I wonder if that's what you're saying, Thumper. Like that's their like workaround is that they have it, but it's in an amount. You know what I mean? Like,
well,
they're like, hey, we'll sell this, but we're only going to put it in these big bags.
Well, next time I go to Sam's here in Columbia, because Sam's has King Arthur's Bakery, flour, because they got the big bags. I'm gonna check see if Sam's has it. If it's enriched. See it folic acid. I'm gonna see what it does, what it says too. But I don't buy the big bags. I just buy the small bags. That's all I do.
And that's for everybody out there. It's like just pay attention to what you got. Yeah.
So there's no actual federal law mandating that flour be enriched. There's regulations in place by the FDA which has set the standards for which constitutes enriched flour, and manufacturers must meet these standards if they choose to label their flour as such. So they take the brand. A lot of the times the brand and the germ have been removed, which is what you need. That's the nutrition. And the FDA defines enriched flour under this CFR. It's 137.165. It specifies the required quantities of nutrients that must be added, including thiamine, niacin, riboflavin, folic acid, and iron. Calcium may also be added, but it must meet a minimum level if it's mentioned on the label. So the FDA says they have to put this stuff into it and then label it as enriched or fortified. Now, I think, and here's the thing, enriched white flour and products containing it cannot be sold in Canada. Unenriched white flour and products containing it cannot be sold. All white flour and products containing it are expected to comply with the enrichment requirements in Canada. So they're requiring it 100%. And I know that the FDA says if you have a business and you sell anything made with flour, it is supposed to be enriched. And I think that's good question.
I think it's the chemical companies because the chemical companies make a ton of money. Yeah.
Lobbying.
Well, absolutely. That starts and that goes back to fucking Rockefeller School of Medicine too. Yep. When it comes to fucking, the drugs that he created.
And here's the thing: all of those ingredients have an expiration date, right? Yep. So flour itself, if you get wheat berries, whole wheat berries, and you grind up your own flour, those can store on a shelf for 30 years.
Yeah.
Okay. Your flour can, if it's already been ground, cannot be stored for 30 years. So there's a reason why they do this. So that way they can put an expiration date on it. You have to get rid of it and buy new because everybody gets scared of these fucking expiration dates on stuff. And that's how they keep that perpetual cycle of them selling more product.
See, the expiration date is fucking a bunch of bullshit too.
It is, man, because like you get eggs and you put them in a glass of water, and if they sink, they're still fucking good. Even like a month after the fucking expiration date. Because I just cooked eggs the other day that were a month old. They sank in the water. Guess
You're
what?
talking to
Cracked
somebody,
it open. It was fine.
My eggs are sitting on my counter right now, and they've been out for 3 weeks on my counter because I get unwashed. I get unwashed eggs from a farm.
Eggs are supposed to be left out, not fucking put in the refrigerator.
Only if they're unpasteurized.
Yes.
They have to be unwashed.
I know, but I'm saying that's the way they're supposed to be. Yep. You know, because like you go overseas in Germany and all that shit, eggs are not in the freezer section or refrigerated section. Nope. You know, nowhere. Asia, they're not in the refrigerated section at all.
You know what I'm paying for a dozen of eggs unwashed from a farm? Free range.
Probably $2. $2.
$3.
Probably $2.
$3. I'm paying $3. I mean, I pay $3. I get 4 dozen at a time, and they sit on my counter. They're good for 5 weeks, 6 weeks, and if I put them in the fridge unwashed, they'll last even longer. Yeah. But I don't need to because I go through eggs. I eat a minimum of 2 to 3 a day, every morning, because I do my 30 grams of protein within 30 minutes of waking up.
Yep.
So.
My buddy about 3 miles down the road, he gives me my eggs, and he charges about, I think, $4 or $5 an 18-pack.
It's not too bad.
And then that's not bad for an 18-pack.
Yeah, I pay three a dozen. So, and I mean, shit. There's been times I've gone out there, and he's like, "Here, just take your 3 or 4 dozen, and just pay me another time or whatever." And I cut trees for him and stuff like that too. So. I mean, it's a barter system out here with the farmers, you know. I got to go kill some coyotes and a fucking bobcat.
To get your beef, right?
Yep. Did you? Well, you saw the picture of that bobcat I sent you.
Oh yeah. Here, kitty.
That fucker. That's a good sized bobcat too.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people don't realize in small town areas, country areas, you're gonna get those coming up. You know, bobcats. Yep. I've seen bobcats come through the yard at night when I was letting Zeus out taking last night piss, right? Before he go to bed. Just like, bobcat goes after him. But he runs right through the fence because he's in the fence.
Yeah, man. But I do predator hunting for farmers, and, you know, they pay me with food and stuff.
Dude, that's where you need my fucking, like, Creedmoor with that fucking night scope and thermal on that bitch.
I got my Creedmoor. I just need the scope.
You need that thermal scope fucking Thor, man. You need that motherfucker.
I think I'm gonna get the 5, the ATN Thor 5.
Yeah, because I mean I got the old, like one of the older versions of it.
Yeah. My cousin had the 3.
Yeah.
And I want the 5. That's the brand new one.
And they're a lot smaller now.
I'm going to put that on my
lot smaller than what I have, you know, is big. They're a lot smaller now. But yeah, I mean, those work great, man. Oh, hell yeah. Shows yardage, fucking everything.
It's like you watch the Texas videos when they're fucking hunting wild hogs in the middle of the night and shit.
Yeah. Oh, it's even better on Texas, right? Well, they're hunting from a fucking chopper.
Yeah, I've seen that. That looks like fun.
I had a buddy that we used to work with at the power plant. He was jarhead, and he did those fucking tours. You know, those hunts. You know, he'd be doing it with a fucking with a fully automatic.
Fuck, they've had miniguns mounted on fucking Jeeps out there.
Yeah, they had the fucking Vulcan.
Yeah.
But you got to, because we all know that pigs, as soon as they get out of the pens within a few months, they go feral.
6 months, actually.
Yeah. They revert back to their original state, and then they become dangerous.
Well, even the pot-bellied pigs, right? That you get, they can still grow tusks, even in captivity. So you got to break them motherfuckers off.
Yeah.
I had one girl live with me when I lived out in the country. She's talked to me and get a pot-bellied pig, right? So I was like, okay, fuck it. That motherfucker started growing tusks, and I asked my vet, I was like, Do I knock it off with a hammer or saw it off? He said, take a hammer, knock it off. That's what I did too. When after she left, she didn't take the hog. If I posted pictures of pork sex. I think I got them on there.
Barbecue.
I got them somewhere on there because I just had them up.
Dude, I read
Let me
an
get
article
that
one
here.
time.
Let me get back to
Cook the old family pet and shit.
Hell yeah.
I read an article one time. Some guy had a potbelly pig. He thought it'd be a good pet, right? And he wrote an entire article on why potbelly pigs are terrible pets. They literally, if it's a male, it'll jizz everywhere when it's, when he's sexually, mature and all that. They destroy things. Like after a certain point of cuteness, they just ain't worth it no more. And he ended the article by saying, the best thing I ever got out of that pig was when I pulled it out of the oven. Because he fucking took that thing, he killed it, gutted it, and he roasted it whole in the oven. Because, it's only about like yay big, right? So it would fit in enough. And he says it was a damn good meal.
What do they call like the suckling pigs? Like the small,
Yeah, so he ended up fucking killing it and roasting it. He said that was the best part of having one.
Damn, it's all the way down. This was back in like 2012. So
that's what people used to do when you raise your own food. Like it might be a pet, but you're gonna butcher that motherfucker in the end.
Oh, here it is. Found it. These pork steaks I got from the butcher shop, right? And I said, who knew a potbelly pig can make such big pork steaks? And my cousin like, was that your pet?
Yeah, it fucking was.
That is funny. That is funny.
I mean, everybody thought I fucking ate fucking pork. I'm like, I ain't eating that motherfucker. I said that motherfucker ate dog food. Fuck that. I ain't eating that shit. But that motherfucker got wild. I had to shoot that motherfucker.
Yeah, it's not like you're eating a fucking canary or something.
Fuck. Phil Rocky said this.
His fridge got broke
on his truck.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
He said he'd be on after he fixes that.
Fuck, he won't make it then.
That sucks.
I wonder how it broke. Oh, glass did.
The glass broke on it. Yeah.
Yeah, I had to bring up the fucking. Had to blow it up. Damn.
Oh, yeah, that's a hell of a crack on there.
Well, so I was looking for that picture, and came out on my watch, and it just looked like a fucking either a fridge or a fucking stand-up smoker on my watch, right? And stuff. So I was like, I ain't looking at the phone, but
make fun of all the Tapatio packets on the ground next to it.
I want to know how that motherfucker they busted the glass.
Maybe tipped over.
And he's not happy on that one. He's not.
Oh no, he probably hit it a couple times after it broke.
Well, it depends on who broke it too. Probably.
That's true.
If he didn't break it, if one of the workers broke it or one of the kids broke it, I can see him go fucking full boot camp instructor, not paying it everybody.
Fucking whoa. You motherfuckers.
It's like last night. River's doing something stupid. I say, River, what the fuck you acting like an idiot? I didn't know. I said, yeah, you're acting like a fucking idiot. You don't like that? I'm like, no, fuck that shit.
You gotta call it out when you're acting fucking dumb. You're acting dumb.
Oh yes. Oh, since the war, here I got one to share here. You know how since the war the India's going, right? War is sad. Haven't got any scam calls since it started.
Oh Lordy.
Which is about right though.
Right?
It's not wrong.
Did you guys see this shit about the southern border fucking meat? Since we're talking about food, I'm gonna bring it up. This is the Department of Agriculture did this shit.
Oh, that's good, Pepper. That's good.
See,
I just thought you'd like that.
Secretary Brooke Rollins announces immediate suspension of cattle, horse, and bison imports because they have a new fucking screwworm in them.
That's not good.
So make
Which
sure
means-
everybody's paying attention.
Oh, speaking of worms and shit, I don't know if any of you have done it yet, but I'm going to be doing an ivermectin cleanse. So I'll keep you guys updated on that too, because if I feel a change in myself and a difference and I feel better, I'll know I had a fucking parasite in me. So I got to go out to the store. I'll probably do it like the beginning of next month, and I'll get the ivermectin and stuff, and I'll do the I'm going to do it like a parapurge.
Yeah, do the deworming. I mean, it won a fucking Nobel Prize.
Yeah,
for
there's a
that
reason.
purpose.
You want to know how the best way to deworm an animal or anything? Chew the back.
You got it.
I'm telling you, I guarantee it. I ain't got to work because I swallow some chew juice every now and then. So I guarantee it. If I got parasites, them motherfuckers are immune to fucking chew. So,
but wasn't there a big photo on like rotten.com back in the day when a person dewormed themselves and it fucking was like tentacles and shit because there was so many in there?
I saw that.
Well, they even say that most people have them in their jaws and shit now too. It's crazy the shit that they're saying. They're coming
and that
out
comes
with.
from because a lot of the seasons, like salmon and stuff, if you pour Coke on it, it will bring it out. If there's parasites in that meat, same with pork too.
Yeah.
Pork, same fucking way. So, but
some of those you got to watch out because they're like stunts. You know what I mean? Like they're scripted.
I know. But if you like pork and the seafood, if you cook it to the right temperature, it kills all that shit anyways. Or it's supposed to.
You know, there's been arguments about that though. Like some parasites have become resistant, like viruses and germs, to like like amoxicillin and like penicillin.
Yeah,
that they actually can live through the heat.
Yeah,
so you gotta kind of be careful with that shit.
Don't do medium rare. Always do well, because then that will pretty much kill. That's enough heat.
Yeah. But I ain't eating my fucking steak. I eat my oyster steak or emu steak fucking well done. I mean, my shit fucking medium.
I want that bitch. I want that bitch blood.
If I'm gonna,
medium rare to rare. Yeah.
If I'm gonna be cut, but plus, especially if I'm gonna be cutting it up on the steaks for tacos, right? I cook that bitch on the rare side, medium rare to rare side. So that way, when I make the taco, cook it on the flat top, motherfucker's perfect there.
Yeah, Cinco de Mayo, we did street tacos. I did a flank steak for the carne asada. And yeah, dude, it's got to be medium.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to end up doing a parapurge.
That's fine. I think everybody should. I mean, problem was during COVID, they cut out a ton of like being able to get ivermectin, and now it's back on the market.
Because they knew it would stop the COVID.
Yeah.
They knew it.
It's like when they fucked Joe Rogan up. Oh, it's like horse dewormer, and they changed the color of his fucking body and face.
It was all about the fucking money.
Oh, yeah.
That's what it boils down to.
Like we were talking earlier, for food, it's all about money. The food pyramid's a scam, too.
Oh, dude, it's one of the biggest scams fucking ever. It was fucking paid for by the grain lobby.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fucking crazy. Well, and the thing is, if you look at, how we look at food, if you really just kind of stop getting into the particulars and you zoom out, you'll see how insane it is. I mean, you're talking about the folic acid, all this other stuff they're enriching with, right? You're talking about seed oils. You're talking about red 40, lake 5. You're talking yellow number 5. You're talking about all these different colors and flavors and all this artificial shit they're putting in things. And yet somehow raw milk is the drink of Satan.
Hey.
In what rational world does that make one goddamn bit of sense?
See, Iowa legalized raw milk, so we have raw milk. It's all I drink is raw milk. I don't do any of this pasteurized bullshit from the store. I actually, matter of fact, I have to go pick it up from the farmer tomorrow at 4:15, They do a milk drop. It's they come into town and you meet them, and it's $8 a gallon, but it's worth it because you get the colostrum and all that in it, which is
Yep.
super good for you. And my son, if the creamier, the thicker the milk, the better. He loves it, and he goes ape shit over raw milk.
Well, there's also bacterial cultures in raw milk. There are certain things that are in it that are not in anything else that we eat or drink. That the human, the gut flora, they absolutely thrive on it.
Yep, and that's why I make my own kimchi and everything, because that's
you're saying.
Super good for you. But the raw milk, Iowa, it was believe it or not, in Iowa of all places, it was illegal to sell raw milk up until a couple years ago. Our governor, she made it legal now, so that's all we drink. We will not buy milk from a store ever.
It's still illegal here in Missouri to buy raw milk from the Amish.
It's ridiculous.
Which in Missouri is weird because Missouri is like one of them, doesn't give a shit about weapons laws states. They don't really. They're very.
We're pretty much the same as Iowa, but for some reason, the fucking legislation has not passed the milk thing. It's fucking stupid.
Yeah, Iowa and Missouri are the same with weapons and everything. I mean, our governor was the first governor to open the state during COVID. We were the first state open. That's why they kept calling her COVID Kim, and all this other stuff. And I'm pissed because she's not going for fucking re-election. And I don't know what's going to fucking happen. She's been our governor for 10 years almost.
Well, she probably can't. Because here in Missouri, you can only hold so many fucking terms here in Missouri.
Nope, she can. We don't have a limit. Okay. And she said that she wants to spend time with her family and stuff.
Yep.
So I mean, she's been doing the fucking job for 10 years almost,
But speaking of the fucking, the food, right? Cheetos, right?
Yeah.
You know what that fucking shit was made for, invented for? Fucking cattle.
That shit's so bad for you.
That was made for cattle. Then someone was like, oh, we can flavor these motherfuckers, right? That's where Cheetos and all that come into play. That was something made for cattle. Cattle feeds what it was.
Well, and Thumper's saying, in the Midwest, I had a buddy that had a dairy farm. After, he would get his fresh milk from there before it went out because it was illegal. They had to pasteurize it after it went out, and he would get a couple gallons before it went out, from actual fucking teat. It would sometimes still be red, from there. And you know what? He grew up fucking 6'5" and cornbread fed motherfucker.
Well, and the pasteurization kills all the nutrients in the raw milk. What it does.
Like Mick was saying, you need that gut flora, and it came from natural ingredients.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's why the Amish are more healthy than the English are. That's English.
Well, the Amish are they're also growing their population.
Yep.
It's slow, but they're a small group, but their population's actually fucking expanding.
And that's because here in Missouri, right? The true Amish, right?
Yeah.
They actually, so they wouldn't come inbred. They actually was getting fucking paying people like us, right, to breed their wives.
Yeah. See.
Oh, look at that shit.
Yeah.
Shit.
It's certified A2A Jersey cow milk.
Good stuff. But a lot of communities are doing that so that way they don't come inbred.
Yeah. This is
smart.
the shit right here.
A little weird, but smart.
Yeah, that's good shit right there.
Yeah. I just wish I could fucking have regular milk versus almond milk.
Almonds don't have tits, buddy.
I know. But I can't have cow milk. That's the thing.
Have you tried chickpea milk?
Yeah, I don't like it.
I didn't think it was too bad, but I was using it just a protein pack in the mornings because I do the 30 for 30, so I do 30 grams of protein in the first 30 minutes of waking up. So to do a protein pack real quick, I would use that chickpea milk, which was 10 grams of protein per serving, and then I would throw my protein powder into that and mix it up, and then I would throw in some Greek yogurt and drink it, slam it.
Chickpea milk, huh?
Yeah.
Now, do you guys know the difference between a lentil and a chickpea? No one's ever paid to have a lentil on their face.
Nice.
I was like, what?
Nice.
You had me
But
thinking there for a second. I'm like, wait a minute.
But I will say though, like on milk wise, like if anybody has alpha gal, if you like chocolate milk, cashew chocolate milk is the closest thing you're gonna get to regular chocolate milk.
Cashew, huh?
Yeah.
I won't drink chocolate milk after my father, my uncle worked in a dairy factory, and it's everything fucking left over.
I know.
It goes in, and then the chocolate fucking flavoring goes
But I'm
in.
saying if anyone likes like chocolate milk that has like alpha gal, the cashew chocolate milk is 10 times better than the fucking almond chocolate milk.
Now you're getting on to the Ted Nugent shit, fucking talking about Monsanto and shit.
But the best fucking chocolate milk I've ever had, right, comes from a small dairy outside of Kansas City, right? Dude, they got different flavors of chocolate milk. You know, they had like a root beer one, which was fucking awesome. Still came in the glass bottles, everything, man.
What the fuck? Root beer chocolate milk?
Yes.
How the fuck do you even come up with that?
I don't know.
But dude, I mean, it's a small dairy. I mean, you got it here in Missouri, but it's expensive as fuck because it's fucking small batch. It still comes in the glass bottles like the old milkman used to carry.
Yeah. Oberwise went back to that, but you're right. Like the local dairy that my family worked at, Shinkles, doesn't go outside of the city. Like it may go up to like Fort Wayne and shit, but it doesn't go very far. And that's probably some of the best milk you'll get.
And how I found it, I was dating this girl up there that lived up there by Kansas City where they were that place, and she had it. She was trying this. I said, "Where'd you get that at?" So she took me to where she got it. Dude, I stocked up on that shit. I did. Until I found it back home, where I was living at, because she lived 2 hours from me. But every time I go up to her place too, at that time I could still have regular milk. See, her dad or mom and dad had dairy cows too. And I'd drink raw milk all the fucking time.
I've always wanted to get into cheese making. I've watched a whole bunch of videos on how to make cheese, and the average person can do it.
I'll just tell you.
I wonder how good you could make a cheese if you used like what Thumper there has. The really good quality, straight from the tit.
I can tell you because I've made it. I made my own ricotta and mozzarella and everything. It's fucking delicious.
That's what they do in Italy. Non-pasteurized milk, raw milk.
And so, yeah, you can make so much. And it's creamier because this milk still has all the heavy cream in it. It hasn't been separated. So when I get my milk, there's like this much heavy cream already separated in it in the jug. You got to shake it up and mix it up, and it makes some good cheese. And the thing is when you make your own cheese versus buying cheese, to smoke it, you got to be super careful because it is way different than smoking store-bought cheese, because store-bought cheese has anti-caking in it and all that. And that's why like your shredded cheese, I don't know if you've ever noticed like shredded cheese that's already in the bag and you put it on something, you put it in the microwave, it takes forever to actually melt and it holds its form. It's because of the anti-caking preservatives that are in it that keep it from melting. It actually changes the melt point. So if you do block cheese and shred it yourself, that's a little better. It will melt a lot better and be creamier. But if you make your own cheese and smoke it, like if you want a good smoked mozzarella, that right there, you do it super, super low temperature and just get the smoke on it, and it will absorb every bit of smoke.
Anywhere from like 80 to 90 degrees.
I would say even lower. You
can do it at 89 degrees as long as it's not in the same, like on a pellet grill, you got to do it a lot lower. But if you have a system, right, like an offset, you can do it at 89 degrees. because the pellet grill, that's all bitch that heat is coming right off the bottom.
Dude, when I fucking smoke my cheese, I do it with an amazing smoker. You know that perforated metal tube that you put pellets in? You light it like a cigar?
Yeah.
I do that, and I only do it probably 2/3 of the year because I won't do it on a day that's over 70 degrees.
Yep.
Yeah. And so with the mozzarella and stuff, that's one of the easiest to make is mozzarella. I mean, and it's some of the best. I mean, you get like a mozzarella ball and you put that in the smoker and smoke it. Dude, it's some of the best mozzarella you'll ever have.
Or anybody who likes head cheese, smoked head cheese ain't too bad.
No.
Fermented grains.
There's a place that actually sells it around here. It's an import store. They sell everything from Europe, and it's mostly German, but they have stuff from Switzerland, and they have clotted cream, all kinds of stuff that you can't find anywhere else. And they have a big selection of like head cheese and stuff like that, and blood sausage, all kinds. It's but good.
You know what fucking cottage cheese is, right?
Cottage cheese? Yeah, it's
curdled fucking milk's what it is.
Yeah, it's like right before it gets to mozzarella, basically. It's the stage.
That is the first thing.
Yeah, when you make cheese, you get it into that curdled state, then you drain off all the water and you
the excess water
out. Yeah. And that's called curd. You get the whey. Yeah, well, it's like the nursery rhyme, curds and whey. You drain off the whey, you keep the curd, you press it, and
that's the one cheese I would never eat was cottage cheese. Is the way it looked. I'm like,
I love cottage cheese.
Like, and it's fucking good for you.
The texture is fucking terrible. I just
here's the thing: don't try to eat it anymore. Take it. And what you do is you put it in a strainer and you strain as much liquid out of it as possible. You take a spoon and you put 1 spoon on a parchment paper on a baking sheet, spread it out into a circle flat, put some Parmesan on it, and then keep doing that with it. Put it in the oven, cook it for about 20 minutes at 220, 225. It comes out as a fucking cracker basically. And it's fucking delicious. It's like a Cheez-It. It's delicious, and it's packed with protein. That's how I give my son. I give my son those for snacks to take to school because of the protein in it.
Now, me and Dad, we would always say, Mom loved cottage cheese growing up, right? Me and Dad's like, anybody that eat cottage cheese was sucking dick.
Well, no, I don't suck dick. But if you do that, if you make a Cheez-It with that, if you look it up, there's recipes. That's one of the quickest and easiest ways to get a quick snack that's packed with protein and healthy for you.
I'll try that.
Yeah, it's
I'm getting
awesome.
I'm getting some Andrew Dice Clay vibes here. Little Miss Muffet sat on her tuffet, eating her curds and whey. But along came a spider, sat down beside her and said, "Hey, what's in the bowl, bitch?" Oh,
that's good shit, though. If you eat it, you'll like it. It won't taste like cottage cheese, and it won't have a texture to it, like other than a cracker.
Well, you said 225 for 20 minutes.
I think it's 225. Look it up. Just Google it. Just Google cottage cheese Cheez-It recipe, and it'll come up. It'll pop up.
So can you put it in a cloth and then just wring the?
You want to get as much of the liquid out of it because you want to dehydrate it. You want to dehydrate it.
Yep. Right. Okay.
Get rid of as much of that as possible, so that way it will harden and crisp up.
But if you try it, don't do it in the oven. Do it in your smoker.
You could, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, to me, that would give it a better flavor versus the oven.
That's because you would chew on a fucking stick, fucking Gilly.
Huh?
You would chew on a fucking stick.
No, I ain't gonna chew on no fucking sticks. God damn it. Now, maybe alfalfa. Alfalfa fucking, stem, I would, yeah.
Alfalfa's good for you anyway.
Shit, I used to do it all the time. Fucking pick one right out in the fucking hayfield. fucking put in my mouth.
Now we're getting into some territories of redneckery that have never been explored.
Yeah. Well, I mean, alfalfa, there's tons of alfalfa fields where I'm from. I think you got them in Iowa too. And
Oh, yeah.
good money for feed. So when you're
I
out,
grew up
you're
too,
fucking
yeah.
chewing on it. Yeah.
Yep. But yeah,
Makes
there's
dairy fucking way better.
there's all kinds of things you can do with cottage cheese and stuff. I mean, like you just got to look. If you use cheddar cheese, it's more like a cheddar cheese. You know, like I said, cheese it. If you use I like to use Parmesan because Parmesan is a little bit more rinier. You know, so it gives it a little bit of different flavor. You could do Parmesan and cheddar and fucking sprinkle a little salt, sea salt on it. Fucking amazing. Hell yeah.
Yeah, my wife makes homemade Cheez-Its. And
Yeah.
yeah, they're incredible. They're better than the real thing.
Yep. Just use cottage cheese. It's amazing.
I will pass it along.
I even had my mom try it and she liked it. She doesn't, you know, she doesn't normally eat cottage cheese. So
But if you do, you got to tell us how you like
yep.
it.
This was
Yeah.
fucking terrible. Fuck your idea.
Hey, if my 13 soon to be 14-year-old will eat it, that's
Yeah,
pretty
but
good.
everybody's taste buds are different too.
No,
I was
I
gonna
know.
say, weren't we growing up? We'd eat whatever the fuck there was, dirt included.
He's kind of, he won't eat tomatoes. He hates tomatoes. He
But he loves ketchup, right?
he loves ketchup.
That's a good boy there.
Dude, it's so weird though, but I taught him how to break down an entire Dungeness crab that I have flown in from fucking Seattle a while back. And I taught him how to break it down and everything. And dude, he'll eat the shit out of some fucking seafood.
Oh, wow.
Like he'll eat raw, you know, he'll eat sushi, he'll eat oysters, he'll do it all. I mean, I teach him how to cook it too. So
I still haven't gave River an oyster yet. I don't know if he would eat it or not.
Yeah, as long as you smoke them or something, they're good. I've had raw oysters before, and man, they're fucking disgusting.
Yeah, I like the raw oysters.
I love raw oysters.
Oh,
yep.
Nasty.
I love them.
Just shoot them down.
That's like fucking. It's like swallowing a fucking big booger whole.
When we were up in Vancouver, when we went up to Vancouver over Halloween 2 years ago, that was a lunch or a dinner in Vancouver before we headed down to Seattle. She was eating salmon and I had fucking 25 fucking oysters on ice.
But I will say the oysters versus in fucking Alabama Gulf Shores, right there on the Gulf.
Yeah.
Raw are 10 times better what they are in Washington State. 10 times better. Right
there. They're different. I can tell you for sure.
They're different. I like them better
down in Louisiana. Down in New Orleans, I had oysters, and it depends on the oyster too, because like the ones I had up in Vancouver, they were not their normal ones. They because they get them every day off the boat because the place we ate was actually on a pier, and the shipment that they got, they're in season, but they're not the normal ones. They got lucky and got these. I forget which ones they were, but they were delicious.
Well, the saltier one, see, Louisiana or the Gulf area, right? It depends on where they're harvested from. Depends on saltiness, right? But it also depends on the buff, too.
Yeah.
If the buff is and are, they're going to be more salty versus the ones that don't, too.
Yeah,
and that's true. Like out here, it's from the Chesapeake Bay, and then you get into the St. James River area. And you're right, it does change on what region you're at and where they're coming from.
Yeah, because I mean you got some that mix with fresh water and the salt water right there coming in from like the Gulf, Mississippi, the Gulf, like St. James, Atlantic Ocean right there.
Yeah. I used to eat clams out of the Mississippi River. We used to go clamming all the time.
Yeah.
Now I don't because of all the fucking pollution.
Fuck, you can go clamming in Washington. I know Mick can.
Yeah.
Fuck, go out to the beach.
Oh, dude, up and down the coast, clamming's everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I mean, the Mississippi is you got to be careful because there's some that are protected now.
Well, same way the Missouri River is. People still clamp it around here. You know, all of Missouri. But I wouldn't because the motherfucker is still fucking. Missouri's just as polluted as goddamn Mississippi is.
Well, yeah.
You know.
Yep. Yeah, I like if I go catfishing, I'll only take the back meat off the catfish. I won't take any other meat off of them. Because
I can't stand catfish. It's got that fucking dirt flavor. I don't care where it comes from.
But everybody's different though. You know, palates are different. You know, me, I like fucking blue cat. I like flathead. I like channel cat. You know.
You know, I ain't never had a catfish before.
What the fuck?
Well, really? Up there in New York and Washington State, they don't have channel cat or blue cat or fucking flatheads.
I've had bass. I've had northern pike. I've had more fucking trout than I can count. I mean,
crappie
up there. I never had a catfish though.
And well, what about crappie?
Never had a crappie.
I'll tell you one thing, crappie, to me, you can't beat that at all.
I think you got to smoke it. You got to smoke crappie.
Well, you can smoke crappie, but I like it fried too. I like it smoked and fried. Bluegill same way too.
It's kind of like coho salmon. Fried. You almost have to smoke it.
Bluegill's got to be fried. Perch has got to be fried. Catfish has got to be fried. But
trout has to be smoked too. Trout has to be
smoked. Crappie's got to be smoked. Because if you fry crappie, it's so goddamn bony. It's just, I don't know. I like the smoke so that way I can get all the bones out of it. And I think it just in Iowa we smoke.
If you know how to flay a crappie, just like a bluegill, you ain't gonna get no bones in it.
No, yeah, I know that, but
I can't flay. I've never learned how to flay it. I've tried. I fuck it up every time.
I can do it. I would rather chunk it and smoke it. Then I don't have to worry about it. You know what I mean? It's just easier.
Since my river, his mom, they go fishing all the time on the Missouri River and Lamede River, right? For channel cat and all that, blue cat, flathead. Dude, I'm always a stalking fucking catfish. Always. Hell, river can flay fish better than I can.
I used to do trout all the time up in the rivers in northern Iowa. That's some good shit. Ugh.
Yeah,
I gotta put my dog out.
Shit, you could go fucking trout fishing here in Missouri now. Always have been down, especially down south Missouri.
Well, and here in Virginia, you got to get the trout license.
Yeah, well, you still do here in Missouri. To even like veterans, if you're 100% disabled, right, through the VA, you don't have to buy a fishing license, but you still got to purchase the trout stamp.
Yeah, you gotta have the trout stamp. Because like out here, you can get your freshwater and saltwater together, and then the trout is the separate one.
But one thing I've looked at since we're going to North Carolina, right? I looked at, the fishing laws out there, right? To see if we get a discount out there. I ain't seeing one. But they got fucking 2 different types of fucking license, too, to buy.
Well, resident license aren't that expensive, dude. It's like $30.
But I'm saying, they got coastal waters, and you got fucking everything. I'm like, what the fuck?
Well, and that's why I always get both, because I'll go all the way fucking around, dude.
Yeah.
And I'll fish anywhere.
Good stuff.
But I'm not really set up for saltwater, with the open reels and shit. But
I was just curious because I'm gonna bring the fishing poles, just in case we find a place to fish, right?
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna bring, but I was curious because every state's different, all that, for veterans, especially for disabled veterans, right?
I mean, I know they do like 1 days and 7 days.
Yeah.
And you can get those motherfuckers cheap as fuck. But I have to look into North Carolina because, like me, I always travel with my tackle box and my fucking rods. Because if I decide, oh, hey, I'm going to stop here, fuck it. Let's throw it in and let's go.
That's gonna be, I always like to know what the laws are, because I ain't got a problem buying the fish license if I have to. But if we don't have to, why buy it?
Yeah. I hate
That's
the
what I want.
I hate the fucking DNR, man. DNR is such a fucking scam.
It is too.
You're like, oh yeah, he's paid for. He's out fucking fishing, you know. Or like the one year when I was growing up in high school, like they had too many does, so they were giving out one tag per day to hunters. So all of us that weren't hunting went in and got extra tags for the guys that were hunting and sell them off.
See, when I was growing up, when I first started hunting, because I could hunt legally, we didn't have a youth season back then. There was no youth season. So you had to wait till you got your hunter safety course. That was 10 years old. Earliest you could take it. And you had to be put in to get a bonus tag for does. Or if you want more does, you had to put in for drawing for bonus tags. You know, now you can fucking buy as many doe tags as you fucking want or desires if you want to. They're only like $7. And fucking, because all these motherfuckers now are hunting fucking horns. They're not fucking hunting for meat. That's why I can't stand a lot of these fucking, even the ones I grew up with. I can't stand these motherfucking lot of them.
Yeah.
You know, because to manage the herd properly, you got to hunt for meat. Got to. If you don't want to eat it, don't eat it. Donate it to somebody that needs it.
Well, and the key thing, like where I'm from, the butchers are getting fewer and fewer and fewer on top of it. So people want meat, but they don't know how to butcher it, and there's no butchers to do it anymore.
But like here in Missouri, there's butchers everywhere, right? But the problem with that is they don't take the fat out. They put an egg, grind it up with it, everything.
Yeah.
You know. Now, if I was still able to deer hunt, I would actually kill deer and donate to families, show them how to do it themselves. You know, butcher it themselves.
I was never good at skinning, like you're saying, filleting earlier. I've been bad at skinning anything.
Shit, you give me a fucking deer, I'll skin the fuck out of it. I can fucking butcher that fucking meat perfect.
Yeah, I've never been good at that, man. One night we cut the gut by accident.
Yeah. But
filleting, fuck, all the meat.
When it comes to filleting fish, man, I can't fillet where the fuck. But I cut a deer up like a motherfucker. You know.
Yeah. I can do a deer. I can field dress a deer and butcher a deer in fucking no time flat.
I'll shoot a fucking, when I shoot a deer, fucking, as soon as I got that bitch on the ground, I knew that bitch was dead. I had that bitch fucking field dressed within fucking 6 minutes every time. You know.
Oh yeah, it's easy.
And a lot of people, you know, you'll see them cut their throats, right? No, you don't want to do it, especially if you got a buck. So that's how you got to drag it out. You fucking, once you get all the guts out, you reach up in that fucking throat with the knife. You cut the trachea on the inside.
See, I'll quarter the whole fucking thing in the field and pack it out.
Me and my dad did that one time. I ain't doing that shit again. Fuck that. No. I'll drag the bitch out first before I do that.
My buddy does that with elk. He gets an elk. It's gutted and quartered before he even leaves.
Well, that's different. You have to do that because you're in the back country then.
And that
shit ain't light either.
No.
Because I don't give a fuck because you ain't gonna be dragging no fucking 1,000 pound, 1,200 pound fucking 3 pounds. You ain't going to.
Nope.
Yeah. But
I think that's gonna be my next hunt though. I think I'm gonna try to get out west and do a hunt.
Well, doing Eastern Washington, not Western Washington, because the ones in Western Washington, man, those things are fucking brush hogs and they are elusive as shit.
Oh, I know. I used to live right on the Snohomish River in Snohomish, and they would come down and fucking get drinks and shit from the river, and I wanted to shoot one so fucking bad.
I always wanted to go to the fucking Colorado, Wyoming, since my brother moved out there, right? And my dad had a friend that he grew up with. He has places where they can hunt that borders Yellowstone in Wyoming. You know, but I never got to do it. You know, but now I can't eat the meat, so I ain't doing it. If I can't shoot it, if I can't eat it, I ain't shooting it. Fuck it.
Yeah, that's good policy.
You know, I mean, I would love to have a big old fucking 6x6 on the fucking wall. No, but I don't think my house is big, my living room is big enough, or base is big enough for a 6x6.
Did you see that? I seen an ad the other day. They're doing digital taxidermy now.
What?
What
Yeah.
the fuck is that?
Yeah,
So
that's what I want to know.
basically, they're taking, what you got instead of mounting, your rack. They give you like a digital printout of what you shot. It's fucking crazy. Hold on, I'm gonna find it. I seen it the other day. It was fucking insane when I seen it.
That's fucking stupid.
Dude,
I know.
Elton John and George Michael singing at a party thrown by Adam Lambert still wouldn't be that gay.
No, wouldn't be. No.
I think we should all make a trip out to Donan's place, man. He hunts like crazy out there. Fucking have Donan take us out.
What's he living at now? Montana?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was from Montana.
Yeah.
Who's that?
Last hunting season, his boy got one. Fucking good size too.
Hell, I'm heading out to Montana in a week and a half.
I'll tell you one thing. If we end up making a trip one of these days out to Montana, I'm going to be down for fucking 3 days. Just to let you know. Because that altitude fucking change. Elevation change. And that's just driving. Because you will see me, as soon as I wake up, you will see me fucking start drinking a beer just to be able to handle it for 3 days straight.
That is so fucking stupid.
Nah. That's for those fucking gay ass city folks. What that's for, right there.
Yeah, well, the guys on the hunting trips at the salt flats,
where their wife says you ain't bringing that dead animal in the house. I'd get rid of the fucking wife. Fuck that.
What is so hard about chopping the head off, right?
Well, you got to skin it just right too, though. So if you want a full head mount, because you got to have enough, because you got to leave some of that cape too. So that way, taxidermist, it has enough fucking, high.
No, what I'm saying though is, if you absolutely are that hard up for a trophy, you can just do a skull and horns. You can put it out in the backyard with a cage around it, let the bugs do their job.
Oh yeah, I got a faster way on that. I even Dad showed me this little trick, right?
I don't get it. Like, you gotta have a trophy. It's easy to do. You can't get a full mount. I mean, I know that shit's expensive, but like, for fuck's sakes, you can get something.
But if you just want to do the horns, right? Not a skull mount, right? European mount. You just want the horns, right? Or even this works on European mounts too.
Right, the skull cap of the horns. Yeah.
You put that bitch in a wheelbarrow and fill that motherfucker with brick acid, uric acid. It fucking eats it away. Everything, the flesh, hide, everything. And it's done within a day.
Well, there's a lot of taxidermists that will throw it in like the carrion beetles that will eat everything. Yeah. And it's not beetle box. Harsh on it. Yeah.
But also, too, if you want to fucking, you can boil it too, but the boiling shit, it's fucking smelly as hell right there.
You got to do that shit outside.
Yeah. But I'm saying if you want it quick and fast, brick acid. If you want it quick and fast. And that bitch comes out white with that brick acid.
You're bleaching the fucking skull.
Yeah.
Is Rocky gonna make it or what, man? I seen
he's coming.
What the fuck's he doing?
He's coming. And we're still going. Fuck it. But yeah, I mean, you can leave it outside, but it takes months to do it outside. By letting the animals eat it, right? The beetles and all that shit.
No, the beetle farms, dude, are like contained. Like there's thousands of them.
Yeah,
eating it.
But it still takes weeks to do that for them to actually eat it.
It does.
Yeah. But a lot of people don't realize because they can do it themselves. If you want a European mount or a fucking horn mount, but they're either too lazy or they've never been taught how to do it. That's the thing. Because cutting those horns off, you got to do it just right. If you don't, the horns are going to snap into it. If you don't get the right angle on it. The fuck did you send me?
Oh shit. Old Thumper's out there sending crazy shit.
Benjamin
There
Button.
we go.
I'm sharing this one. Just with no sound, though.
Yeah, you can't have sound on. It was which one danced the best? It was which one danced the best?
I don't know.
You were not here for one of them. We were talking about paraplegics and shit.
Okay.
And my ultimate unicorn of a midget that's quadruple amputee.
Call that a fuck nugget.
It's gonna be a Brett fuck nugget.
Okay.
Because I want one.
Dude, that's so bad.
Yeah, I mean, one of these days, yeah, we can make a trip up fucking Donald's.
Did I tell you? Did I tell you, by the way, that a midget was killed in my city, like murdered? Who does that?
Why? I was gonna say, why do you kill a midget?
This guy, he fucking murdered a midget. I'm like, those are rare. Come on.
A female or a male?
It was a female midget.
She might not get good enough head.
I don't know, but
she wasn't tall enough.
All it would have taken was a train accident or something, and then I would have had my wish. Because there is no quadruple amputee midgets in my town. None. Not even in the Quad Cities. Like the 4 towns, 5 towns that are actually like connected, there's not one.
Yeah.
I would know about it. Trust me.
Shit, I got a cousin who is a midget. who is a midget.
Serious?
Yeah.
Legs and arms or no?
She got legs and arms, but she's born with a club foot. So
she's safe around me then.
So she don't have to show. She
no
doesn't walk.
No wonder why Gilly's all about midget porn. He's got a cousin that's a midget.
but Thumper, she wouldn't like it. Thumper, she wouldn't like it because you're too white. You're not dark enough.
Well, damn it.
Ain't got a long enough cock to put it in her chest.
She's safe around me if she has legs and arms. I mean, I'm just saying.
Oh, hey, Rocky, you ran into the midget porn stuff.
Oh, my gosh. That's what I came into?
All right. Yeah, how did you break the fucking door?
Sorry, bud.
I don't know.
Who did it?
A sharp turn, I guess.
Oh, you were driving?
My wife was driving the trailer as I drove my car home, and maybe she made a sharp turn, and it just came out of the walls. So I'm going to get
mounted?
It was mounted.
Damn.
So I got to get that fixed tomorrow.
That means you suck at securing for C, my brother.
Who'd have thought?
You got to go back.
Did the whole thing fall over?
The whole thing.
Did the door come open?
The whole thing fell over, right? And it landed on my generator. I put my generator there also to keep it from falling. My generator weighs about 200, 300 pounds. It didn't move an inch, but this thing just fell and cracked all the glass. So
hold that bitch to the fucking deck and the fucking bulkhead.
Yeah, well, it's time to get ready for inspection where the Department of Health comes and does their inspection. So I'm going to have everything retrofitted. I'm going to have the deck painted. I'm trying to get PRC in there, but there's another kind of thing that I want to put in there. I have being on a ship. I know what needs to get done. It's finding the people that can do it because I can't do it myself. I know what needs to get done, but I can't do it myself.
And you won't have to you don't have to wax or anything that PRC shit.
I know.
Fucking mop that bitch, sweep it, mop it, and bitch sound like a dime in a goat's ass. You know that.
Right. That's
right.
I mean,
fucking time.
I'm kind of mad that it happened, but I'm glad it happened on our way home instead of on our way there.
Oh, I said when I seen that, figured out what it was. I'm like, oh, Rocky's pissed. He's gonna be doing knife hands, motherfucker.
You know what I told my sons, I said, you better do what I fucking tell you to do. I don't want no fucking questions. Do what I fucking tell you to do. I lined them all up. I told Heidi too. I was like, everybody do what I tell them to do.
You did the knife hand, didn't you?
If you guys mouth off or fucking anything, I'm going to rip your souls out of your body. Pretty much. You know what I mean? the chief is going to come out, and you don't want to fuck with the chief. I'm not the good guy. I'm not the good guy.
Well, and that's gonna cost you more money now. How much is that fucking refrigerator gonna cost to replace that bitch?
It's going to probably cost around 800 to 1,000. And then,
I mean, that's not too bad for. Is that commercial?
It's a commercial one. What happened was back in 2022 or 2023, we went to a place called Claremont in North Carolina. It was for Claremont nights or Claremont days. And they said, hey, you can plug into our public thing. And I told my wife, don't do it. Guess what she did? She
Plugged
did
into it.
Everything blew up.
Oh, shit.
Like the fuses blew up and everything. We were still able to operate, but we came out. We looked like we were in a fucking coal mine, like on fucking Zoolander. Our hair was all messed up. Like, and then, so I had to buy new stuff. And I told Heidi, next time, do what I fucking tell you to do. Right? Just do what I tell you to do, because the wattage or whatever it was, it's 120, 140, 240, 220. I forget what it is. You know what I'm talking about, guys?
Yep.
Yeah.
And I was like, I wasn't sure about it. I wasn't confident about it. I said, don't do it. They did it.
Boom.
Yep. So I had to spend about $2,000 to fix that. Then a year later, we did it another time, right? But this time, the lady had someone we were in another place called Hickory. It was the side street food truck park, right? So it was this food truck park that they were making, and it had all the voltage and everything. But the person that did it said they did it right, but they didn't do it fucking right. So we plugged it in, right? It blew up everything. So the lady that had us come there, she bought us all new systems. The refrigerator, like you're seeing right there, and then the roller fridge that looks like a roller, but it's like a prep table, or it has like a prep board and has all these things where you have like cilantro and everything. So that one still works, but my fridge broke. So all I really need to do is get a fridge. I'm going to mount everything and secure it for sea. And then I'm going to get the decks cleaned and everything, so that I said, it happened at the perfect time, because I have to get it ready for inspection anyways. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I inspect it like it's eCert or CERT. Remember eCert and all those things, OPI and all that shit? I inspect it like I'm that before the actual people comes there, before the actual inspector comes there. And then after that, we'll be good to go. We usually get like 100% or a 99.5% rating every time. So,
as long as you keep the quality up, the expectation and the standard, that's where it makes a difference.
So right now I'm drinking a beer because I really need one.
I can get that. Yeah.
I think most of us are a 6-pack in anyway.
I just started off 6-pack.
So what did I miss? Were we talking about some crazy stuff while I was gone? Because I was
a whole lot food.
Nope. We're just talking about cooking and killing deer, and started with Mother's Day and shitty ass women. And hold on. Let me pull this one up. I think Rocky is gonna love this. We'll get him fired up. You ready to get fired up?
He's already fired up.
He's already fired up. He's already pissed.
This is gonna take him over the top. Then going over the top, baby.
Get another beer.
Yeah, you might want to strap.
I'm gonna go when I'm done with this one. I'm gonna go get another one.
Just go get you a gummy. Fucking go get you a gummy.
There you go, Rocky.
Former California Teacher of the Year gets 30 years in life in prison for molesting elementary students. That's the first time I've seen them even use that word, molesting.
Right.
Yeah. You know what? Like the political climate with political correctness and the feminism and all that crap. It's all, they had sex, and they'll still blame a 15-year-old boy for having sex with a 33-year-old woman.
Slap him with child support.
It's so ridiculous that I'm remaining. It's so stupid and ridiculous. It's like, switch it around. Who's the predator? Let's gender swap it. How bad is it going to be now? How bad is it going to be considered? You know, either the hypocrisy's got to stop and the double standards stop, or I say men just walk away for good until women come back on their knees begging.
Oh, they
And you know
are.
what? The Bible says that's going to happen.
Yeah.
I'll read it to you in Genesis right now if you want.
Oh, I know it says, what was it? It wasn't, it was not in Genesis. It was someplace else, but there was a passage that says, 7 women will cleave to one man, saying,
Yeah, I'll read it to you
you
real
can
quick.
marry,
It's in Isaiah
you can
chapter
marry,
4.
you can marry all of us. Just let us have your name. Yeah.
Yeah, but what I want to point out in Genesis is this, right?
Yeah. What
Because
are you
I
talking?
think
What are you talking about?
it's lost in translation with the Hebrew switching to Greek and Latin and all that stuff. So this is what it says in Genesis. This is from the ESV, guys. It says, uh, where is it out? Okay, here's what God says. This is the curse. He says, the Lord God said to the serpent, this is chapter 3, verse 14, because you have done this, you are cursed above all livestock and above all beasts of the field. On your belly you shall go, and dust you shall eat all the days of your life. What's really weird is there's reptilian grays. Guess what they eat? Dust. Anyways, just a weird fact there. I will put enmity between you and the woman, between your offspring and her offspring. In the King James, it says between your seed and her seed. So there's a seed of the woman, which is Jesus Christ, and a seed of the serpent, which is of Satan, right? The dragon. So there's 2 seeds that are living on earth. That's why when Jesus talks about the parable of the wheat and the weeds and all that
Cares.
stuff, yeah, you
Yep.
know, yeah, okay. So he said, he shall bruise your head and you shall bruise his heel. That's the nails going through Christ's ankles when he got hung on the cross. That's a really old prophecy. It says, to the woman he said, I will multiply your pain in childbearing. In your pain you shall bring forth children. Your desire shall be for your husband, and he shall rule over you. What that means in the Hebrew is you will desire, or you will desire to rule over your husband, but in the end, he's going to rule over you because I put man in charge. You're the helpmeet. You're the helper. So all this crap that women say about men need to help women, no, 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 no. Men have the mission in life. The woman's mission is to help the man. I don't care if women get mad at this or not. If they want to argue with it, they can pray to God about it. They can get mad at God and do whatever they want, but it's not going to change the fact that when they die and stand in front of him, whether at the judgment seat of Christ or the great white throne judgment where everyone gets thrown into hell, that's the judgment where all the people go to hell. He's probably going to ask that question. Did you do what I commanded you to do in Genesis? And if they say no, well, there you go.
Did you do what you were fucking told?
Yes. And to Adam, he said, because you have listened to the voice of your wife and have eaten of the tree which I commanded you, you shall not eat of it. Cursed is the ground because of you. In pain you shall eat of it all the days of your life. Thorns and thistles it shall bring forth to you for you, and you shall eat the plants of the field. By the sweat of your face you shall eat bread, till you return to the ground, for out of it you were taken, for you are dust, and to dust you shall return. So, why did God get mad at Adam? Because he listened to his wife. He wanted to make his wife happy and give her way. And her wife doing what she did caused all this chaos that we're dealing with right now. And all the stuff you talk about, like I missed it all, talking about shitty people, shitty mothers, shitty women, shitty men, shitty relationships. It all stems from the Garden of Eden. This
Oh,
is where the problem
don't
lies.
worry. We're going to do shitty fathers on Father's Day.
Yeah, we are,
Oh, yeah.
because there's some fucking shitty fucking men out there too, and we got something to say to you fuckers too. But right now I'm focusing on the women because we're not like the little cuckold Jezebel fucking spirit churches that worship women all the fucking time and bash men. No, 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 no. Both of them get equal treatment. If they want equality and egalitarianism, then everything is fair across the board and nothing's off fucking limits. And if you don't like that, then you better change your goddamn fucking opinion.
Told you
It's
I
like when
get it
people,
fired up.
I'm not even yelling. I'm not even talking crazy. I'm not. My eyes are not going crazy or anything like that. It's just like, listen. That's what it says in Genesis. Now, check this shit out. This is Isaiah.
Round 2. Fight.
And Isaiah says, where is it at?
It's in Isaiah.
It's on the judgment of Judah and Jerusalem. So this is around probably 770, 750 BC, right? When Isaiah is a prophet. So this is 750 years before Jesus Christ is born. So this is during when Judah and Jerusalem were separate kingdoms. Or Judah and Jerusalem were that's the southern kingdom. The northern kingdom was Israel. But about this time, the northern kingdom of Israel was destroyed by the Assyrians. And there was a great dispersion, right? So that's when they think all the people that were ancient Israelites came to America and went to South America and all those places, like the theory says. It says, where's it at? My people, infants are their oppressors, and women rule over them. Oh, my people, your guides mislead, and they swallowed up the course of your past. The Lord has taken his place to contend. He stands and judges peoples. The Lord will enter into judgment with elders and princes of his people. It is you who have devoured the vineyard. The spoil of the poor is in your houses. What do you mean by crushing my people, by grinding the face of the poor, declares the Lord God of hosts. So that's the God of the armies. That's Jesus Christ, right? The Lord said, because the daughters of Zion are haughty. What does haughty mean, guys? Someone
Arrogant.
Arrogant, and walk with outstretched necks, glancing wantonly with their eyes, mincing along as they go. Is that how women act nowadays?
Hold
Pretty much.
on. We got to clear up haughty. It's HAU, not
GHTY.
HOTTIE. Just so
Yes,
you know.
HAUGHTY. Okay. Mincing as
I
they
mean,
go along.
there's a lot of stupid people out there. I'm sorry. I gotta,
Okay.
cut in. I apologize.
Right. Tinkling with
Strangely
their
enough,
feet.
we are not among them.
Tinkling with their feet. Therefore, the Lord will strike with the scab the heads of the daughters of Zion, and Yah, or the Lord, will lay bare their secret parts. So all this OnlyFans stuff, it's going to backfire on them.
Selling your butthole online.
Yeah, they've laid bare their secret parts that are supposed to be for, holy purposes to create children. In that day, the Lord will take away the finery of anklets, the headbands, and the crescents, the pendants, the bracelets, and the scarves, the headdress, the armlets, the sashes, the perfume boxes, the amulets, the signet rings, nose rings. Oh my gosh, nose rings. What do we see now? The festive.
They look like hogs.
I know. The mantles, the cloaks and the handbags, the mirrors, the linen garments, the turbans, and the veils. Instead of perfume, they will be rottenness. There will be rottenness. Instead of a belt, a rope. Instead of well set hair, baldness. That means they're going to go bald. Instead of a rich robe, a skirt of sackcloth, and branding instead of beauty. Ooh, that's bad. Branding. Your men shall fall by the sword, and your mighty men in battle. And her gates shall lament and mourn empty. She shall sit on the ground. So it means she's going to mourn because all these men are going to be killed, right? Here's the freaking crazy part. This is chapter 4, verse 1.
What? We're not past crazy yet? We're getting more crazy?
No, watch. Just watch. Or listen. And 7 women shall take hold of one man in that day, saying, we will eat our own bread, wear our own clothes, only let us be called by your name, take away our reproach.
Yep.
And you know what's happening right now? That's
We're
kind
getting
of
called out.
It's kind of starting to happen.
The whole MGTOW thing, the men have gone away. The men are like, you know what? We're not doing this no more.
Yeah, I send you guys the video from Aaron Clary yesterday about men are just fucking done. They don't care no more.
Yeah.
You didn't, but I watched it because I follow him, and he's right. He's just like, you know what? We're done.
Mick, we need your number if you all be for the group chat when he sends all this stuff.
All right.
Yeah.
Gilly, I'll send you, and you send it to everyone else. I got your number. Well, I got you on Messenger.
I mean, and put your name that way I know, because then I can text you direct or whatever, bro. But like this stuff that's going on right now, it's been going on for a long time. Only men have forgotten about it. And the problem that the reason men have forgotten about it is because we actually love women. We love them
As we should.
as we should, right? But they do not love us. They want
And
to
if
dominate
women
us. They want to rule.
do not believe what you're saying, Rocky, they just go ask the fucking new pope since he speaks English.
Well,
Yeah.
they respond to power and authority. I mean,
Yes, they do.
ultimately,
They
they
do.
respond to power and authority.
There's a saying: if if a girl's calling you an asshole, it means you're doing the right thing.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? And it's weird because you don't want to be an asshole to girls because you want the girls to like you. But
But
it's this weird, sick, twisted thing that stems from the Garden of Eden that we're all dealing with right now. And the thing is now that women have been on the internet bashing men, talking about how they have rosters, talking about sleeping with 1,142 men, talking about sleeping with 1,000 men in 24 hours or 12 hours. Men are just like, no, and then they're like, why now that men know how bad the courts are, the family courts, the society in general hates men, but still expects men to defend them, which I think is the fucking craziest cognitive dissonance in the fucking world. Like,
no, I'm done with that shit, dude. I used to believe in that, but now, if you're not a woman in my family, I
uh,
don't care.
yeah, I'm the same way, man.
I'm
I'm the
not getting
same way.
stabbed. I'm not getting stabbed over you.
No, like the cognitive dissonance is where they bash men and always say men bad, woman good. Well, now that the internet's there and all the news is coming out, it seems like there's a lot more child abusers that are women than there are men.
Oh yeah.
And now with all these sexual assault things with all these teachers, we're seeing a lot of female teachers sexually abusing children, right? But the crazy thing is, it worked for me, that text did. The crazy thing is now they have to change the language so it doesn't sound as bad, which means there's complete and utter hypocrisy. Which then, if anybody is listening, CNN, NBC, MSNBC, ABC, whoever the hell you are, the what are those stupid Vice and all you other pathetic fuckers, you're not credible anymore. No one fucking believes you. We don't believe what's on fucking TV anymore because it all seems like it's a fucking act and a charade. And it's all there to make you think a certain way and brainwash you.
Yep.
And shouldn't it be that way? It's the awakening like we talked about.
Yeah. I remember, man, I wanted to talk about this. And I was
shit.
gonna try and make my own video on YouTube, right, from my page. And I was gonna say, I saw a couple years ago some woman got on there and talked about the great divorce, where they're gonna divorce all the men and the men are gonna feel bad and all this stuff. No, no. The great
Okay.
divorce, here's what the great divorce is. Men walk away, stop defending you, stop caring about you, stop helping you, stop doing anything for you, and let you fend for yourselves because you're strong and independent, which means you're fucking grown up, you're paying for your car and paying for your bills. If you think strong and independent is paying for your bills and making money, welcome to real life. In the Bible, it said, you're going to work to eat. So guess what? You're not doing anything different that you shouldn't be doing all fucking ready. The only difference was you had the protection of a man, which was also a sort of spiritual protection because it's God above everyone, man, then woman, then children. It's an umbrella, right? There's a big umbrella, then there's another umbrella, and then there's another umbrella and another umbrella. And if you don't follow that model, what you get is what you're seeing in America and in the West right now. Where
Did any of you guys see Spaceballs?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, now seriously.
Do you remember when they're trapped in the desert and she pulls out her industrial strength hair dryer because she can't live without it? And he's like, "Okay, princess, fairy tale's over. Welcome to real life. You want this hot air machine? You carry it."
So, yeah, I mean, I mean, that's what's going on. It's like the great divorce is when men say, we're not getting married and having children with you until you change. We know your nature now. We know how you think. We know how you operate. We understand that's how you work, but we don't have to love you if we understand you.
But do you know who needs to go first?
Who?
People that need to go first are the men that are enforcing all of this shit.
Oh, I think that something bad is going to happen to those guys because there's not enough white knights now.
There is not. And you know
There's
what?
not
And
enough
that's
white knights because you know what? If married guys like me that love their wife dearly know this shit, they're going to lose. Because what's going to happen is I'm going to teach my sons about this shit. And I'm going to teach my grandsons about this shit. I mean, it's gotten so crazy that I've talked to my wife about it. And my wife is a good woman, right? She's a woman, but she's better. You know, maybe it's because we have a good, I think it's because we have a good relationship dynamic. But um I told her, I said, you know, as much as I want to be a grandfather, I don't want my kids to get with the wrong woman that ruins his life. And
yep.
because women have the power to ruin life with a false accusation, 30 years in the past when there's no goddamn motherfucking proof. You know, there's a reason Islam said it takes the the testimony of two women for it to be believed. There's a reason why. That's why believe all women and all that other crap, you can't. You can't believe it now. You
God
can't.
no.
Well, when they started,
Everyone can lie. That doesn't mean that they don't lie, and they definitely do not have the moral high ground. I don't know where they get this idea that they have the moral high ground. They don't.
well, they first convicted Bill Cosby, right, of that bullshit, right?
Then he get
I said,
exonerated.
I said, y'all done fucking opened up Pandora's box right there with no fucking physical fucking proof, no DNA, no nothing, just accusations. I said, you opened up Pandora's box right there.
Yeah, you
Play
did.
Yeah.
You
You
did
know,
because in here's the problem. We have two types of court. You have the court of law, which the law is corrupt. The laws are corrupted and they need to be changed. And I think that men should stop doing anything to help society until the laws change to be fair, at least. That means all the feminist Duluth model shit has to get thrown out the window. All
Yep.
of it. All the marriage laws, all the paternity fraud laws that are allowed, where women are allowed to sleep with other men and then make another guy pay for someone's kid that's not their own. No, there needs to be capital punishment for that shit. Because guess what would have happened back in the day? If a
they'd been
woman
Stoned.
did that, what would happen?
stoned or burnt at the stake
Yes, or they
Well,
would just be killed. And guess what? The kids
or
would be
beheaded like in France.
yeah,
They're like in France, beheaded.
the offspring of those children that were not of the father, they were probably killed too. And man, that is brutal. It is wicked and it is terrible. But where does it stem from? Who caused it? Who caused it? Who made the choice?
Well,
Who
it all
chose?
falls down to the women, our
Well, also the men,
governments,
because the men
yeah,
should know better than to do that to another man.
but it also falls on the media too for fucking, the way they've been fucking expressing this shit too.
Yes, yes. And I think that I
And
think
that's the court of public opinion right then and there.
yeah, the court of public opinion needs to be shut down because if you're a left-wing fucking dumbass idiot or someone that does not believe in moral absolutes, like there's these people that say there's nothing absolute. There are no absolutes. But you know what cancels out that? The answer here. Are you absolutely sure?
well, that in itself is an absolute statement.
Exactly. So they can't say there are no absolutes because they're saying there's absolutely no absolutes when there's an absolute truth, right? That means there's an absolute truth and there's an absolute non-truth. Period. There's the truth and then there's lies. Now you can mix truth with lies, which still makes it what? A lie.
That's it too.
You have to side on the side of the truth. Whether the truth is ugly or not, you still have to go with what the truth is. And you still have to not trust your emotions and use your brain. Think logically. Think of the truth and what is right and what is wrong. And that's what they do around here. What they do around here is they let emotion take over. People are more loyal to their emotions than to what is right or wrong. And you're wondering why all these people have these problems where like they're autistic. I'm
Well,
autistic. I look at purple dots and
doesn't
stuff.
truth run into three sides of every story? One
Yeah.
version, your version, and then what really happened?
Mm-hmm. And you're supposed to deduce that from both sides. And that's where the problem lies, because you have to look for the truth in everything. Not your truth, like stupid ass fucking Oprah Winfrey, but the truth.
or the view.
Oh, those stupid idiot bitches. I can't stand them. I'm like, I don't know, like, freedom of speech is great. It shouldn't mean you have the audacity, you shouldn't lie. I mean, it should be like you're caught in a lie, you lose all credibility. And you need to fucking apologize, which none of the news apologizes when they fucking lie.
Mm-hmm.
And like that in itself should prove that you can't believe the news. You can't believe Fox News. You can't believe CNN. You can't believe any of them motherfuckers. And what's sad is you have to find the news from other sources that are just willing to tell you a story without trying to get you emotionally pull on your emotional heartstrings to get you to think the way they want you to think.
You'll never find it.
I know, but
Except for us. You can believe us.
No, because we're pulling on heartstrings ourselves when we talk about it.
I'm like Skeletor. I'm dead inside. It doesn't matter.
What are you talking about? That's why I
We're
like my
supposed to have
coffee fucking
feelings?
black, man. Just like my soul.
We're supposed
Yeah,
to
but the
have
thing is,
feelings?
not
What are
all
those?
heartstrings are built equally.
What is this fucking heart?
If Rocky over here is telling unpleasant truths that need to be said and things that need to be rectified, that's going to pull on certain heartstrings. You can tell someone the truth, and that will naturally pull heartstrings without necessarily knowing which heartstrings those are going to be. You're not specifically picking heartstrings to pull. You're doing things that result in heartstrings getting pulled. The problem is when you pick heartstrings to pull and then lie to pull them.
Yes, it's called manipulation.
It's not the same thing. Like playing a piano creatively and skillfully is not the same as banging on keys, but banging on keys will cause you distress and irritation and all sorts of other shit.
The
Just
thing
because you
is,
can
like,
do it don't mean you should.
like when I talk about these things, the truth and how ugly it can be, do you think I like it any more than anyone else does?
Yes,
No,
I
It's
do.
not pleasant.
I really don't. I mean, I really wish that I could go
because
back. I really wish I could go back to the fairy tale world where men and women love each other and there's not all these fucking problems, but that ain't the truth.
Never has been.
And you know what? It never has been, but it took me a while to see it. And the first time I started to really notice it was in 2019 on the Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah, but the thing is,
Like,
back then,
actually, no. I want to correct that. In 2017, when I got to Washington Navy Yard and Trump just got, just became the president. What is that?
but the thing is,
Not-
this has always been a problem. It's just not. It was never fucking brought out to the open like it is now.
Yeah, and that's what the red pill is. Everyone's like the red pill this, the red pill that. No, the red pill is the dynamics between men and women, how men operate and how women operate. And it has nothing to do with morality. It's how we operate. Men act a certain way and women act a certain way. But men are held to a standard and many women are not held to a standard. But women intend on holding men to standards that they would never reciprocate to hold for men, to honor men. But they expect to be honored by men, but they will never honor men. And that's where the problem lies. You can't expect this if you're not willing to do it yourself. You know what I mean? If you're going to walk the walk, if you're going to talk the talk and walk, what is it?
If you're going to talk the talk, you got to walk the walk.
Yes. That's what I mean.
He's
Yeah. So you know what I mean, but I mean, we've heard that all our lives, but did we apply it to that area of our lives before? No, we didn't. But now you have to. You have to. You have to, as a man, you have to protect yourself. You have to look out for yourself at all times, which means now you have to be a selfish asshole in which you've been told all your life not to be. But you have to do that to survive.
Your ass is writing checks you can't cash.
Yes.
You're writing checks your ass can't cash. So,
Top gun.
And so what I foresee happening, and I could be completely wrong, is men are going to start doing that. Women are going to expect something, and women are going to get nothing.
Well,
They're going to get the guys that are simps and white knights, but we know that they don't like those guys because those guys don't get them wet and turn them on.
but you're already starting to see that in Japan. Too.
Mm-hmm.
You already start
Did you
seeing
see
Japan.
the news report today? It said that Japan has so many problems now because their population is plummeting because marriage is dying. They're not having
Because
kids.
they're going after the fucking Russians and the Ukrainians.
No. Like they're called the herbivore men, which are like the men going in their own way everywhere else.
Well, and those men ain't trying to fuck the traditional Japanese women. They're going like for the Russians, other women, where they're going.
Yeah. Remember that video I said about China where they're doing that in China?
Yep.
Like, Mick, you got to see these videos that sometimes pop up on my YouTube feed. I sent it to the boys. I'm like, check this shit out, dude. This is crazy. And it's like
chances are I've seen it because I get a lot of the same ones.
Like one of my favorite channels is Strong Successful Male.
That's
I think every man should be watching that before they go in the military, so they know don't get married, don't do long distance relationships, don't date girls that you work with, do none of that stuff.
If it did not come in your seed bag, you don't fucking need it, people.
Exactly.
I've used that in a lot of my fucking college courses.
Really?
I used it a ton of times in this last course for interpersonal relation or communications, and it actually worked a lot. People reciprocated because they understood the same thing.
Well, how many of you guys have read Macbeth?
I have.
I've read a little bit of it, not the whole thing.
Right. So Rocky is going to know where I'm going with this.
I hope so. It's been a while. Let's go.
So basically, Macbeth, he's the Thane of Cawdor. He's a very, very, very militarily savvy, loyal Scotsman. He's nobility. He is the man, right? And there's these witches, and they prophesy that he's going to be great. And his wife literally tells the devil to unsex her. Basically, take away my femininity, take my female nature. I want nothing but power. And at the behest of the prophecy of these witches and at the constant prodding of his wife, he did more and more and more treacherous things to get more and more and more power. He ended up betraying everybody he ever loved, killed his best friend, killed his king, tried to kill his best friend's son. And at the end of the day, he was left with absolutely nothing and got killed.
Yeah.
All because he listened to his wife and two witches.
Yeah. Here's the thing, though. Put that in today's modern days. Start out like me. I'm a nice guy, right? Nice guy considered bad.
You're an asshole.
I'm an asshole, but there was a time where I was a nice guy.
Really?
And I would go out of my way and bend over backwards to make a woman happy, or to impress her, or to show her how much I care. And she would use me and treat me shitty, right? And break my heart. Well, guess what? You turn that guy that you broke into a heart, you turned him into Macbeth. Now he's going to betray you and every fucking buddy else. And guess what those guys are known as now? The Chads and Tyrones. They don't care. And nobody, even the guys that ain't Chads and Tyrones, they don't fucking care either. And it's really scary. It's really scary because I remember I sent you guys that thing about Pakistan and India going into nuclear war and the president's trying to stop it from happening, but it's the CIA that's behind it.
Oh, yeah.
Like Pakistan and India?
Yeah, CIA and MI6.
Like imagine men wake up in the West and we go to war and they all dodge the draft because they're like, I'm not going to protect a nation and the women in a nation that hate me and think I'm trash and I'm garbage and that I need to die to kill me. They can go fight the war.
Well, if those guys the guys that dodge the draft, as long as they're a Democrat, they'll become president.
Yeah, like Clinton, right?
Clinton, Clinton, fucking Joe Biden. Come on now. I mean,
hold on. I want to play this clip. You guys might have seen it, maybe nobody else has. And
let's not get a copyright for it.
It actually
copyright bullshit.
It encapsulates everything we're talking
about. Oh, I've seen this. I love this, and it's absolutely fucking true.
You got to turn the volume
on this myself.
Oh shit! Sorry.
Oh, we lost it.
Oh, he's got to share with sound.
I've seen this clip, dude. And the thing is, it happened to me. Like, I was like super blue pilled, super simpy, like all the things, and then I got hit so fucking hard one time.
You don't think I'm sensitive?
I turned into him.
I got more feelings in my left nut than you two schoolgirls put together.
Here we go.
Oh, I know what they say about me. I know what they say about guys like me. They say that we're pigs, right? That we're dogs.
In your defense, they don't exclude. I've been married for 5 years, and my wife still says.
Oh, that's right. They don't exclude. They say all men are pigs. All men are dogs. All men are scum. And they talk their little asses off about what monsters.
Just for the record, we do not own the music or the rights to that video or whatever, but we're using it for an example because it's actually pretty close to fucking real life.
Because that was me after the day.
That
was me. That was me also after probably the girl before I met Heidi.
How's that? Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
That was me after my first wife, my second wife, and now my third.
Yeah. and you know what?
You never fucking learn, do you?
You know what? You do change. You become meaner.
Actually, I do learn. And I learned something after every single divorce. And everything was different, right?
So you just need a fucking hooker. The fuck. That's all you need.
Right I'm going to get more drinks, boys. I'll be right back.
But,
So I've come to realize that I've done things for people. That's my thing, right? I've done everything in my life has been for other people. Okay. So military, right? For our country. And then working as a fucking law enforcement officer, working as a paramedic, working as, doing all this other shit. So it's like, I'm done helping people. There's a handful of people I'll help, but I'm not going to go above and beyond like I had before.
I was called a fucking womanizer for years, right? Because, I was engaged, had a miscarriage, went through a miscarriage with a woman, right? And there was no communication. So I said, fuck it, I'm done. There's no communication because I was hurting just as bad as she was, when we came back. If you can't talk to me, then fuck you, I'm done. And after that, I worked my ass off. I was working 16-hour days, 7 days a week. I didn't date for 3 fucking months. My dad's like, Jason, he said, you need to get out there, back out there. And I did. I was dating fucking 3-4 women at a time. I traveled.
Nothing wrong with that.
I would fucking I covered everywhere from Iowa, Illinois, Arkansas, Kansas, Missouri. I did the rounds.
See, my thing
is man horn. I didn't care.
My thing is here's the thing. Like, if you're gonna date multiple. That's why, like, I'm okay being polyamorous because my thing is in my mind, in my experience, not one person has ever checked every box of what I look for in a partner. So by me dating multiple women at the same time, I get all my boxes checked and they get their boxes checked. Now, does that mean I check every one of their boxes? No. So you date somebody else while I'm dating this person. I don't care. That's why, like, me being polyamorous has been, it's worked if the communication and trust is there. But the thing is I am done giving myself to people and helping them because they haven't reciprocated that. And I've done nothing but run myself into the ground with my disabilities, with my disabilities and everything that I've got from being blown up so many times. I literally have worked myself into where like working so much. At one point, I was working 4 fucking jobs, and the jobs I was working are not easy jobs. They're physical jobs. They're mentally tasking jobs. Working as a paramedic, working as a medical examiner, working with death and grief and all that on a daily basis wears you down mentally and physically. And I was doing that while thinking I wasn't doing enough for my family because we never had money. Come to find out, it's because she was spending it all and not actually paying our bills. So I was literally working myself to an early grave. So, with that being said, plus what you guys know of my second marriage, I'm done. I'm done. Like if a woman wants to be a part of my life, she's gonna have to show me that this is who she is and how she is. And unfortunately, is it fair to every woman? No. But the thing is I've been burned 3 fucking times on my marriages. And was I perfect in all 3? No. But I can tell you this last one was the best version of me. And I can tell you that my ex-wife, my second ex-wife, even said that about my third ex-wife. She said, man, she's really fucking up because she actually has the best version of you. My second wife and first wife did not get that version of me. And so she's really fucking that up. But now I'm more guarded than ever. And I am not looking to let somebody into this part of my life as far as getting deep down connection. Like I'm gonna fuck like crazy. Like that's gonna happen, and I'm gonna hang out with them. We might go have drinks or whatever. But there's not gonna be that connection until they can prove to me that that's what they want.
I give you 2 years before you're married.
I had the other day I worked at
2 years, Thumper. 2 years.
Okay. Before my fridge broke today, we worked at the Lake Hickory Marina, right? And we made our fish tacos. Man, they're great fish tacos. My wife makes amazing fish tacos. And I was talking to the bartender in there, and she's a pretty cool woman, right?
Yeah.
And we were talking about relationships and everything because she's married and she's had problems, and she's really open about talking. She's got a lot of wisdom for her age, so I think she's pretty cool. Not everything she says I agree with, and she probably doesn't agree with me. But I told her this and she agreed with me. I said, when relationships work the best? When the girl likes the guy more than the guy likes the girl.
Yeah.
And I told her, I said, in my circumstances, my wife chased after me. My wife pursued me. I liked my wife. I liked her, right? I thought she was beautiful. I thought she was very attractive. She had a great personality, but I was just, I was hesitant, right? Because I just went through a 4-year relationship with another girl that dumped me out of the blue, probably because of guilt or something. I don't know. I don't know the whole truth, and I really don't care to know the whole truth because if it's what I suspect, it'll just make me roll my eyes and be like, well, of course that's what fucking happened. It happens to fucking every guy, right? And so she said, you know what? I agree with you. I really agree with you. It works better when the woman likes the guy a little bit more than the man does. And she needs to do that because her mission in life is to help the guy. So how else are you going to be a helpmeet and help the guy unless you really like him a whole hell of a lot, right? Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Dude, my wife proposed to me.
Yeah, like the man has a mission, like even in the Bible. And I'm sorry I'm getting on this. For all you people that don't believe the Bible, wake the fuck up. It's real. Anyways, it says, I'm going to make the man in charge of the garden, and he's going to till the earth. He's going to do this. He's going to tend to my garden. He's going to tend to the Garden of Eden. I'm going to make him a helpmeet because it's not good for him to be alone. He made male and female for all the other animals, but he waited to make the woman last, right? And he decided, okay, I'm going to take this from the deepest part of Adam's heart or his rib. In the Hebrew, it's like the deepest part of Adam's heart. That's why men love women so much. That's why we do. There's a scientific and biblical reason for it, and it's right there if you know what you're looking at. And so it really makes sense that the girl needs to like the guy more. And women don't like that because when that happens, they feel like they don't have power over men. And that's when your desire will be for your husband, but he shall rule over you. That's what that's talking about too. If you really think about it, I hope I'm making sense.
You are.
But of course, no one's going to fucking watch this, right? Too bad it couldn't go viral and help everyone out, right?
And you
And
never know, it might go viral now.
Go viral.
But that's the truth. It really works better that way. And it was really cool to see a woman agree with me and like that. She's like, yeah, it really does. It really makes sense. It does work better when the woman likes the man more. Because then she does all the things that make the man's life better. And this is what I told her. I said, when the woman likes the man more and she does all these things to make his life better, what does the man usually do? He reciprocates when he likes that woman a lot and respects her and loves her. He will turn around and bring it back to her and reciprocate it by taking care of her. He'll be her protector. He'll be her provider, and he'll be her leader.
We're honor bound to do. We're honor bound to do so.
Yes, we are. That's it's kind of ingrained. Like
it's not
one of these
kind
days,
of. It's part of our fucking
it's in our DNA. And I mean, one of these days I'll talk about how like Heidi and me and everything like that, and how it worked out. And it's like, wow, I did all these things for her because we were just friends, but I really liked her, but I could not come to the point where I was like, well, I really like you a lot and I want to make you my girlfriend. Because every time I did that before, it backfired, right? It just backfired. The girl would have liked me, but the second I showed interest, boom, she loses interest because the mystery's gone and the chase is gone because girls really like chasing boys. And as much as they hate to admit it, it's the truth. And so I reciprocated. I took care of her. And guess what she did? She stayed loyal to me. And you know what the most priceless woman is? A woman that's loyal to you, to one man. And that is
that says something right there with all your deployments and shit, as long as you've been married, right? That says something right there.
Yeah, I mean, I could tell you, man, like in 2019, dude, when I went on that deployment on the Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah, a year-long fucking deployment.
It was almost a year. Almost a year. And my sailors were even the lesbian couples and the married couples, the straight couples, all had problems. And it was usually the wife, the counterpart of the wife, that was causing all the problems. Because the husband figure is the one that's serving in the military, right? Which is really twisted when you think about it. I had 100% divorce rate from all the lesbian marriages in my command. And there was even abuse and stuff like that. Which it's sad because they really do say that lesbian relationships, there's more physical and mental and abuse than anything else in the world, right? And there's even proof of that in statistics. But I would call my wife and I would tell her, thank you for being a great wife. I really appreciate you. And I talked to her about it later, right? When I came home and all this stuff. And she's like, it never crossed my mind to do anything like that. When I got bored, I got dogs. When I got bored, I wanted to learn how to sew. When I got bored, I started making tacos. So like I was very fortunate and a lucky and a fortunate man in that respect. And I'm not bragging about it because it can happen. It could have went bad for me, right? But it hasn't so far. Does it mean it can't go now? Does it mean I let my guard down now? It doesn't mean I don't keep my eyes open now. It doesn't mean I don't hold her to her word and hold her accountable by holding myself accountable too, right? For not doing the wrong thing. But that's the way it's supposed to work. And I think somewhere along the way, men and women lost that. Women don't even want that. They just want a paycheck and an ATM. Well, the ATMs and the paychecks are going away.
Here's
free service, the free labor, that's going away.
Here's what I'm looking for anymore. I know y'all have seen this little clip before, but I'm gonna play it anyways. Oh, I got server sound. Never mind. Hold on.
All I got to say is I went on Westpac back in 2000, and my wife printed out and scrapbooked all of my emails to her, and she has them to this day.
Well, and that's good. Hell, she even brings you alcohol. On the show I've been seeing, I was like, God damn, that's a good woman there.
Yeah, she's the best, dude.
Now, this is how every man should be. Shit. Hold on.
Was this 3.5 Men or something?
So you're never gonna get married?
No, as long as I got someone to clean my house and some action on a regular basis, I don't need a wife.
Excuse me?
I don't want to give anybody half my stuff.
You have a girlfriend yet?
That's fucking, I mean, that sums it up right there.
I don't want to give someone half my stuff.
Have you guys seen this shit? I'm going to click on it.
Any conspiracy?
I'm going to shut it down real quick. I'm going to turn it up. I want you guys to fucking watch this shit. It's fucking...
Any conspiracy?
I'm going to have to
Well, share.
All right, I'm going to share it real quick. Give me a second, boys. This is hilarious because this is probably one of the best fucking comebacks I've ever seen in my life. And it's fucking true as shit. All right. Share. I hope you guys have seen this before. All right, let me get out of here. Okay, is it on there? Can you guys see it?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Let me make sure I start it from the beginning.
That you've heard, like, or seen on the internet that you think? Any conspiracy theories that you've heard, like, or seen on the internet that you think that could be true?
That God's on you.
The girls are loyal.
Any
Like, how fucking true is that?
That's true.
They want loyalty from us, but they're going to not be loyal to me. And now that loyalty is going to be, it was at a little minute level from person to person, right? Now it's going to the point where it's going to be nation. Men are not going to be loyal to a nation that's not loyal to them. And the U.S. government has a very big problem on their hands if they don't fucking wake up to this. And if the government is a feminist government with feminist ideals, guess what? They're not going to ever reach men. They're not going to force men to do anything. Men will walk away and move to other places and become passport bros. And that's the truth.
Or they'll just go
those
off grid
passport. And
completely.
guess what? Guess what? Those passport bros are 18 to however old. So that means they're military age all the way to old men. That means you just lost millions, if not billions, of men to protect your country and nation because you will not hold the other sex accountable for their bad behavior.
I don't agree with any of that because the simple fact is you still have Midwestern men that will still join because of patriotism. It isn't about the women and shit and protecting the country or, with women. They'll protect the country because that's the way they were brought up.
Yeah.
There's still people out there. So I know what you're saying. Sorry, I cut in. Had to steal some.
No, it's good you make that point. It's good you make that point because there are going to be some guys that do that.
The guys?
No, but then those guys that are patriotic will be like, wait a minute. I'm still getting fucked over. Fuck that shit.
We were getting fucked over in '99, brother.
You know what? We didn't know that at the time.
Yeah.
We weren't awake. We were not.
Rocky.
I was not aware of that at that time.
Rocky. No bit. Sorry.
Yeah.
I got to cook dinner.
Okay.
All right,
Sorry, Mick.
Let's go.
So I got to depart, fellas.
Ding, ding,
All
ding,
right.
ding. Mick,
Ding me out.
departing. Ding. Well, let me ding you out real quick. We've never done this before. This will be the first time we ding someone out.
Let's do this.
You dinged off fucking Thumper last time.
I did? Okay.
Yeah, for my birthday.
Okay, I'm going to do it right now. Mick, departing.
See you all next time.
Yeah, brother.
See ya.
Because I think about that. I ponder that. I'm like, okay, I'm a patriotic guy. But now that I know what I know, and guys younger than me know what I know, and they see it more than I do, and they grew up with it in their face, unlike I did, they might lose their patriotism. And you're right. There's going to be guys in the South and the Midwest that are really patriotic. The West Coast guys, probably not so much. The East Coast guys, probably not so much. But there's more people on the East Coast and the West Coast than the middle of the country and in the South. So
No, you're right. Like I said,
and,
though,
so it's like I wish I had the president, the vice president's ear, and all these people, because I'd be like, listen, patriotism only goes so far. Because if you don't give a man a purpose in life by getting a wife and having a family, what else does he have to fight for? What
well,
else does he have
that's
to
the
work?
hardest part of transition is that you don't have a purpose anymore. You're done.
Speaking of transition, all those trans service members getting separated.
Like, why did we even allow that stuff in the first place? I'm sorry if you're fucking sensitive to this stuff. Why do you want someone to carry a weapon that doesn't know what they are?
I just had this argument a few hours, not argument, but debate with a woman in the military. And, we've been drinking, and that was the discussion. Why do you want somebody that doesn't know what they want to be? It was fucking drag queens back in the day. They were men. They liked dressing like women and putting makeup on. That was the end of the fucking story. There was nothing more to argue about. So why are you in the military trying to act this way?
And now they're taking all these hormones and all that shit. That just creates fucking conflict, can cause a lot of problems on the fucking ships, the battlefield, whatever. Cause a lot of fucking problems right there and there.
Do you know there was the women that transition to men, right? They go into locker rooms with men and nobody gives a fuck. You know what I mean? Like a female in the locker room is like, whatever. But a dude swinging his dick around in front of fucking 8-year-old girls is a fucking problem. And it should be a fucking problem.
It is a fucking
100%.
problem, and it should not be there.
Yep. Well, and most of the girls don't go into a men's bathroom when they're young. They go in when they're fully grown. But men, doesn't matter if they're fucking boys or men, they'll go into these fucking bathrooms with little girls, and boys aren't going to notice a difference if a young girl goes into the bathroom or even a grown woman goes into the bathroom necessarily. There's a good possibility they would, because they're going to go into the stall and close the door. They're not going to be able to stand at a fucking urinal unless they've had a surgery where they got a fucking dick.
Like Gilly going into the women's restroom, not realizing there's fucking no urinals.
Yeah,
I was fucked up. I didn't care. I'm pissed.
But I mean,
I didn't care. I'm pissed.
The changes that these hormones are doing in these bodies, if it's a male going to a female, then they're losing muscle mass and they're losing all this other stuff, right? So now they're going to be weaker, and vice versa. You've got women that are going to be raging now because their fucking hormones don't know what the fuck is going on because they're putting all this testosterone into their fucking body.
But they're like Ellen Page. They're 5'1" and they weigh 110 pounds.
Well,
right, but then
now
you
they
have to
can't
deal
get a
with
job being an actor because they're not a pretty girl no more.
But then you and I have to deal with their fucking attitude and everything else, and that's not fucking right.
And they have got to get roid rage just like men do on
That's what
steroids.
I'm saying. Why should everybody be subjected to their fucking attitudes because they're on fucking medication to fucking change their body? No.
That
no.
right there is a double standard, because you know what? There's a show or there's a channel called It's Complicated. Have you guys ever seen it?
No.
This guy goes on YouTube, right? And he interviews people mainly in Vegas. And he goes, hey, how come it's okay for women to let their hormones rage, but men can't?
Right.
Like, how come it's okay for women to act like bitches and be terrible when they're PMSing and on their period? But when men are horny because they have testosterone and it gives men an immensely strong sex drive, they're looked at as bad.
Yep.
And you know what the girls did? It's like, I never thought of that before. That's how clueless everyone is. That's how brainwashed they are. They cannot or will not or refuse to see the other side of things. And the only way that it's going to happen is you have to keep on doing what we're doing, where you have to talk about it. And it's exhausting. Because I don't like talking about this shit all the time.
I fucking love it. Let's go, dude.
I love talking about food, comic books, good movies, not the lame shit that's out now, good music, pretty women, and theology and history and archaeology.
Oh,
and
you missed
Tartarian
the
Empire and Bigfoots and fucking ghosts and whatever else, cryptids. That's cool stuff. Not talking about guys and girls, how they can't get along and how they won't do right for each other and by each other, But you have to, because you can't do anything else without fixing that shit first.
And that's a lot of reason, like we talked about before, populations go down because most people are turning narcissistic. They want to take care of themselves.
So funny, dude.
Outside of it,
Is it the flowers?
No. He's making some comments on Facebook on a post that he tagged me in personally.
Because he wrote off the Cardinals, right? So we got that little bet going.
Oh, fuck. Here we go.
Now we are 1.5 games behind. It was like 6 games behind. Now we're right up there now.
6 games. Now they're 1.5 games behind the Cubs.
Oh,
it's okay.
And that should go out to women right there with that conversation that men are simple. We're simple to the point. We're fucking with each other about sports games. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like,
we are simple. All we want is fucking food, fucking blowjob.
Yeah.
That's it.
What did they say? Like a full belly and their dick sucked, and that's it.
I got
a story. Food, and which dick sucked. That's all. 3 things. That's all we need.
You guys, last week when I was on the podcast, I told you that the girl that I raised as my daughter came home from college, right?
Yeah.
Well, there's another girl I have that I treated as my daughter, and she lived with us for a year. And I would watch Strong, Successful Male and all that stuff. And I would, text her stuff because I had her phone number because she worked on the truck with us. We gave her a job and everything, right? Because she was getting out of a really bad situation, and we got her on her feet. And now she's married and had a baby. And she didn't realize this because she was a feminist. And I said, if you're a feminist, guys ain't going to appreciate that crap. Because I asked her this, she could never answer. I was like, how can you as a feminist think or feel or have a good relationship that's loving and caring and all of that stuff that you want if you think he oppresses you? She didn't have an answer for it. And so I'd sent her Strong, Successful Male videos, right? And this was 2022, 2023 timeframe. So all those videos that came out then, if you know those videos, there's really good ones. But she said, what do men want? I said, we want a full stomach, empty balls, and support. That's all we need. And then there's a girl on TikTok. She's called Fuck Them, Feed Them, and Leave Them Alone. And she's right about everything she talks about, right? And I don't know her name, but she's really smart. I mean, there's other girls like Emily King, and there's another girl. She's got like weird color hair, but she's really good too. And fuck them, feed them, leave them alone. That's really what it is. Leaving them alone is like, don't bug them. Let them do what they have to do so that they can take care of you in return.
Especially after we get home from fucking work.
Yeah. Yeah.
We need to decompress. Leave us the fuck alone.
Yeah. Like, so Heidi and I got married in 2005, right? I was with her for 4 months before I went to MPI school in Fort Leonard Woods. I went from September to November. I came back in November. I left in December to go to Japan for 2 years. So I did 2 years away from her after we just had been married, but I got her pregnant before I left. My grandfather died. I went home to see her in March. We had a ultrasound. They said it was a girl. It ended up being a son, my son Nathan. Well, I get out of I come yeah. His wee wee grew bigger later on. Anyways, it was too early to see.
But
I'm just
fucking
playing. That's a
hermaphrodite
joke.
and shit.
That's a joke. Anyways,
That's why he likes long hair now.
dude, that dude plays guitar like one of the greats, man. I'll give him
Man,
that. I'm
he
still
does.
I'm still waiting for him to record our theme music because I'm having him record intro music and outro music.
With the long hair, he looks like Heidi with long hair.
He does. He does. He used to be able to unlock her phone with his face. It's fucking hilarious. And so, like, imagine if he got in really good shape and lifted weights, girls would be drawn to him like that.
He'd be like, you suck my dick this time, then you suck my dick this time.
I don't want him to do that because I don't want a bunch of grandchildren. Anyways,
you get one, you get one, you get another one.
And it's going to be like in Idiocracy. I'm going to fuck this bitch and 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 bang, 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 bang. All these babies are born. Okay, back to the subject. I come home. I leave Japan in 2008. We get stationed in Gitmo. It's the first time I lived with Heidi. We've been married for over 2 years now, but it's the first time I lived with her, right? So she was like, when I got home, she's like, Rocky, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, honey, give me like a half hour. Because I had a job where I had to think all day. And you know how much thinking can be exhausting, right? Manual work is exhausting, but thinking is more exhausting.
Especially for a man.
Yes, yes, it is. Because we have to do it all the time. And I had to decompress. I said, babe, I've got to decompress. And she would bitch at me and moan at me and like, just let me decompress. So I'd sit on the couch and watch SpongeBob. And in Gitmo back at that time, we had like, the little cable boxes that we had with like 5 or 6 channels. That's what they had in Gitmo at the time. So
shit.
one of those channels was Nickelodeon. I'd watch SpongeBob with. That's when I started watching SpongeBob and realizing how hilarious SpongeBob was. At first, I was like, this show's fucking retarded. It's so stupid. Then I started watching it, right? Because my brain's fried. I'm watching it like fucking Mr. Garrison when he's on fucking weed.
It's a stoner's fucking show is what it is.
It is. And
it's actually adult oriented if you really dig.
Yes, I was going to say
it was designed for college
adult
students.
Yeah, all the jokes are adult jokes, right? But she got mad at me and she kind of held it against me, but I guess she let it go. Well, fast forward to 2017. All right. 2017, I'm stationed in Washington, D.C. My wife is going to college. She just graduated from college from the GI Bill, and she's doing a job. And when she gets home, all the kids are like, and she's like, I need to decompress. And she called me one day on the phone. She's like, Rocky, I understand why you needed about a half hour to 45 minutes to decompress from work before you engaged with everybody. I was like, thank you, honey. I appreciate that. Do you think I gave her shit about it? No, I really didn't, because I understood, because I've gone through it before. But it took her seeing what I went through to understand, hey, he wasn't trying to negate his duties as a father and a husband and all that stuff. He just needed time to get out of the mode of being in the Navy as an MA1 or an MAC and become dad and husband.
But and that's where they forget, like, if you want to separate work from home life, you need that one barrier time. Now, not everybody's 30 minutes, but you're right. Like, the only way to separate it, like they talk about work from home,
work-life balance.
You have to.
Work-life balance. I think it's called work-life balance.
And it's even harder when you're in the fucking military.
Yes, it is. It is. Because, I kind of saw that with Heidi, because when she brought Andrew out here, my stepson, and, she would be at work with me for 12 to 16 hours a day because we work together every day. Like, imagine you work with the person you love the most in the world and you guys get along all day. It was great. For us, it worked out great. For not for everyone else, right? And I think that's why we work well together now, because we had that work relationship dynamic.
And she hasn't hit you upside the head with the cast iron pan yet.
Huh?
Wow.
And she has not taken cast iron pan to fucking beat your brains in yet.
No, no. Here's what happens. I run it like it's the Navy. I'm the captain. She's the XO.
The only reason I think the only reason that works, right? Because she was in the Navy too. She knows, she understands that structure.
She does. You know what though? The thing that made me really like her is she never complained. We would stand gate for 12 hours a day. 12 hours a day, we're on our feet. You know how much that sucks when you're wearing like 30, 40 pounds of gear?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That
it
sucks,
sucks,
yeah.
right? And she never complained once. She
No,
did her
that's good.
job. She
That's
did it
good.
to the best of her ability, right? I had the utmost respect for her. So I told all the girls that worked for me, I said, listen, my wife was in the Navy. She stood 12 to 14 to 16 hours of watch on a gate with me. I don't want to hear you bitch and complain about nothing. She never complained about her period. She never complained about anything like that. She did her job and she did it to the best of her ability. And that's what I fucking expect from you. And if you don't like it, shut up. If she can do it, why can't you? So guess what? A lot of girls never gave me mouth. Girls did not mouth off to me, except for one. And remember when I talked about when I did that midterm counseling
Yeah.
and I made her cry? That was the one. She never mouthed off to me again. She'd mouth off to other guys, but she would be like, I said, do you want to go down this route with me? Because I'll fuck you up. I will
And that's
you
the
up.
key thing. Like, I remember being told I couldn't date a black woman because I wasn't mean enough. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't show enough backbone. Remember old Buffy Reese off the boat?
Yeah.
I was told she wouldn't date me because I wasn't mean enough. And I was like, what the fuck does mean enough mean? And it meant that you had a fucking backbone and would stand up for yourself instead of the white knight syndrome shit.
So you had to be an asshole or mainly just stand up for yourself. It's a shit test. I've had girls try to shit test me. I've even had my wife try to shit test me with another girl. That's there with me. And guess what I told them? Shut the fuck up with your stupid goddamn fucking manipulation. Get the fuck out of my face and don't talk to me about it again. My answer's fucking no, and it's gonna fucking stay no.
I had that
You
during
don't fucking like it.
I had that during season.
Shut up.
I had a girl named Lauren while we were doing the white hat burial, kept saying shit, and I was like, I stood up out of the entire fucking crowd, was like, shut the fuck up. And she went fucking silent and never said a fucking word again. Of course, though, behind the scenes, after our season was over, I got fucking backstabbed because, being a chief, it was like, oh, he's a mean chief. He telling a chick to said, shut the fuck up.
That's the West Coast coming out. Shut the fuck up, you stupid bitch.
And then refer back to Genesis. Because you listened to the woman and did not obey my commands, you are cursed.
And they were fucking drunk, which pissed me off too, because that final night, nobody drinks. You're not supposed to be drinking. Even with me, as much as I drink, that is one respect you keep during season. You don't drink. And these motherfuckers were drinking. It was like white hat burial is like a eulogy. You know what I mean? Like if your family passed away, you're given a eulogy, and it's respectful. You're supposed to be quiet and listen to what they say. And it's like these motherfuckers making fun of it. Dude, I was so fucking mad. They took me off after that. They're like, Matt, go to the side. Go to the side. Go out to the car and chill out. Go fucking have a candy bar,
That was the hub from the north coming out in you.
Oh, dude, it was. I was so fucking mad. I was. That's probably the maddest I've been in a while.
We got to have shirts made up. Hugs from the north.
We said, that's the one we got to do, man. We got to do
We'll do that. You know what though?
Shit.
Hey guys, the white hat burial was my favorite thing because it was the most meaningful thing, because it's kind of like where you spill your guts, because like when I looked at my life, I was married. I had all my children for at least 9 years. I was married for 9 years by that time, right? 9.5 years about.
Fuck, I was like
So
15.
everything that I got that I had when I made chief, I had gotten when I was a first class petty officer. So for me to go to that from going to first class to chief, that was like a lifelong goal, right? That was a big deal for me. And it really touched me because it was like everything that I still had, and now I could do better with it because I finally made a rank where I could take care of my wife and kids better.
He went from
And
being
then-
a cool guy to a douchebag.
No,
That's what he's saying.
But that ceremony, right?
Yeah.
I think it was what's supposed to symbolize the fact that you're being reborn
Mhm.
as something else.
No, you
Yeah.
do. That's what it
You're-
is.
You know,
You're-
because
you die- you die
you
at
start
first
at this, you start kind of like the shellback ceremony, right?
Mhm.
You know, you start as a fucking pollywog, right? Now you're shellback.
Yes.
You know, now you're part of the fucking goat locker.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly. But it's more meaningful because in reality, the season
you earned
is
that.
like a second
You
boot camp.
earned that fucking right. You know, you earned that. You know,
Like you
That
said,
takes a lot of-
went from a cool guy to a douchebag.
No, I actually became a cooler guy. But what was funny was when I made chief, I had a lot of first classes talking shit because I made first class, right? And I said, "Do you have enough balls to do what's fucking right?" Silence. Fucking silence. Fucking silence for them. I said, "You can't call out anybody else or say anyone's doing wrong if you're doing the same wrong thing all the fucking time." So, like it was like MA1 Alderetti became MAC Alderetti, but he didn't fucking change in his beliefs. He didn't become this guy that became this guy in the mess that just kissed everyone's ass because I was going throat to throat with some of the guys in the Chiefs mess. I was like, fuck you. Fuck your name and fuck from where you came. You can suck my dick or whatever, right? And I was like, no, you hypocrite fucking fag or whatever. And I was like, no, absolutely not. No. You cannot point everything out that someone else is doing wrong when you don't do the right thing either.
That's why they hated me on DRB because I would call them out.
They hated me and they didn't respect me. Well, I think they may have respected me, but they really did not like me because I became even more strict. I became even more merciless and ruthless in saying, if you're going to do this, you better do it with fucking honor, courage, and fucking commitment.
Yeah, because when you get behind that door, you see what's really fucking going on. You're like, you motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Let's go, dude.
I mean,
exactly.
I got a feeling that you guys, when you made chief, right? You all fucking was like the Chiefs we had on the West Coast. Guaranteed.
Oh, yeah.
Guaranteed. You'd be hard. When someone fucked up, you would nail their ass through the wall if you had to. But if somebody wanted to fucking learn, you would fucking teach them if they really wanted to learn.
Well, I mean, what's crazy is like when I made chief as an MA, they had a PQS book, right? They had PQS for MAs.
Yeah.
The PQS system was not established in my command. I started working on that PQS system when I was a first class. So shortly, about 3 or 4 weeks after I became chief, I put the PQS out. And I said, I'm going to give you sailors everything so that you can make chief and LDO.
We had the PQS on the fucking fife in '97.
Well, no, this is for Master at Arms.
Oh, Master at Arms.
Master at Arms PQS didn't come out till 2010.
Gotcha.
So it had been out for almost 4 years at that time, and no one established it. And we had to take PQS from MA, and we had to take PQS from the weapon systems, like M16, M9.
The gunners made PQS.
50 cal, M240, all that stuff, right? And I had to make it match with what our job was. So I gave them all the PQS. And at first, all the sailors bitched about it, right? They were like, man, this is fucking fucked up. I said, shut up. I'm giving you the keys to the fucking world. I said,
Keys to the kingdom, bitches.
I'm giving you the keys to the MA World Anti-Terrorism Force Protection because you had ATO, AT Trace Soup, baton instructor, OC pepper spray, all that stuff, right? So we had to deal with weapon systems, self-defense, and force protection and law enforcement and use of force and SOFA and all this other stuff, right? All the legalities, Miranda rights, and all this other stuff. And I gave them PQS, gave them everything. And when I left in 2016, they're like, God damn, Chief, you're the best chief we had. You gave us everything. And we didn't appreciate it until you left. And it pissed me off. It pissed me off because that's like I took it really personal because I put a lot of heart and soul into that, right? And I had two civilian instructors. One was a retired Orange County SWAT. The other guy was like a retired weapons specialist for the Marine Corps. And these guys were really good. They were my training guys, right? Because I didn't have anybody in training but civilians. My assistant ATO was a civilian that I worked with when he was in the Navy from 2003 to 2005. He got in a really bad accident and got disability, and then he came back and worked for the command, right? So he did my AT plan stuff, let me read it, make sure it was good to go and all that stuff, right? And I had to correlate the AT plan with all the PQS systems because that's what you're supposed to do, right? And so the whole command was like, fuck, dude, you fucking set this place up. But on top of that, I had my instructors, because my one younger instructor, he was really good with computers. We made an electronic PQS so that you could click on your CAT card and get a signature with a date, time, date for that PQS line item being good.
Nice.
And
That's
guess
good.
what? When
like
CNIC saw that in the CPAC or the IPAC, Installation Protection Assessment Cell, that's what it was called, right? It ended up becoming FEP and all this other stuff. They changed it to FEP just like you would on a ship, right? And they were like, "You're fucking 10 years ahead of us. You're 5 to 10 years ahead of us." In CNIC.
So wait, hold on a second. So what you're boiling down is that men fix and put together all kinds of shit that require thinking on top of it. Okay,
yes, but it also requires dedication, knowledge, and the ability and the willingness to do what's right.
You turned in Chief Turbo.
Yeah, he did.
I don't know.
I see Thumper like biting at the bit about security down there.
I mean, that's not a bad thing. You turned Chief Turbo because that's where Chief Turbo was too.
But the crazy thing is the CNIC people saw that shit, right? They're like, "You're fucking 5 to 10 years ahead of us. We're going to take what you're doing and try to make it happen." They still haven't done it as far as I know. That was in 2015. And so I ended up going to Washington Navy Yard in 2017. From 2017 to 2019, I was there, right? And I talked to the CNIC guys, and they're like, "Yeah, I fucking recognize you, Chief, already. You're that motherfucker that argued with me in California." I said, "Yeah, I did, because you fucking weren't realistic in your fucking standards for us." And then I ended up talking to the commander that wrote the OpNav instruction, 5530.10 or whatever it was. It was like security, right? I was like, "Why do you require me to have a harbor defense department when we have no water?"
Really? They did that there?
And I was like, he said, everything that I said that should really means shall. Because, in OpNav and SecNav and all that stuff, right? It's shall and should mean two different things. Shall means you're going to do it. Should means do it if you can. Right?
Oh, wait. That isn't that the Second Amendment that says shall not be infringed on?
Yes. That is correct, right? You are correct, good sir. But I was like, why do you do this if you know it doesn't apply to every command? Why didn't you put a caveat saying, "Hey, if you don't have harbor defense unit, you're not required to do harbor defense.
If you have no fucking water, you don't need it. Plain and simple.
Exactly. If you're on the Anacostia River and you don't have a harbor defense unit, you're not required to have flower pots for 240s to defend the shore."
You know what I mean? I was like, can you be more realistic? Well, anyways, I met that guy later. He left that command and he went to be the commander of the MAA school in San Antonio. When I left DC, I went to brig school in San Antonio. I saw him. He recognized me there. He's like, "Hey, what's up?" I'm like, "How you doing, sir?" And all that stuff. And he's like, they gave me the leadership award there when I was in the class, right? Well, later on, he got in trouble for fraternization and got fired. But a lot of the guys that were security officers in the Navy at that time, they were all former engineers. They were former snipes. But snipes are the hardest working guys in the Navy. But that don't mean they know about law. They don't know the Constitution. They don't know the amendments.
Who does?
They don't know statute. They don't know. They know what the Assimilative Crimes Act is, but they don't know how to apply it right. They're going off of how you did shit in EOS and EOP.
That's why they don't give us fucking guns.
Now,
Actually, we still had to be qualified, goddamn it. Again, we still had to be qualified.
They didn't do it with the, like, I was out of engineering long enough to know that, like, hey, these are two fucking different worlds. I love your hard work ethic, but you got to be realistic. We're not.
Well, it's two different. Yeah, it is two different worlds. It really is. But we also had to be fucking. Remember, we had the MRG open, and E5 or above had to be fucking armed.
Yeah,
when that motherfucker was open.
Yeah, because it's a fucking high value asset, or it's mission critical, right? It's a mission critical
asset. And it's also fucking, and it was classified at the time too. The MRG was classified. Yeah. I don't know if it still is, but at that time it was still classified.
No, and they were fucking leased too, so we didn't actually own them.
Nope.
No, we
didn't. The ship was built around them, and they were owned by what was that? GE, right? No.
Yeah, GE. GE owned the.
No, not GE. It was a different company that made the MRGs.
Westinghouse.
Yeah,
Westinghouse owned the MRGs.
Yeah.
Because our gas turbines were GEs.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And they were. But anyways, I didn't mean to go off on that tangent, but I was trying to explain, like, this is the difference, right? And as chiefs, this is what you're supposed to fucking do. You're supposed to tell the officer, you're a fucking retard. Stop being retarded. You know what I mean?
And Gilly was right, because that's our West Coast mentality, was to tell you when the fuck you were wrong in accordance with, right here, it says it right here in the book.
Yeah.
It's in black and white.
You know what the problem was? When I had to deal with West Coast LDOs that were security officers, they weren't chiefs. They were MA1s that didn't make chief. But I told them the same thing that will make you a chief will make you an LDO. It just depends on when you get chosen, right? And I said, I told this to one of my ASECOs, and I hope he's doing well now. I said, you see that 6'4" guy that weighs 250 pounds that's full of muscle, like Terminator? I said, do you really think that you're going to be able to talk to him disrespectfully because you have a fucking golden bar on you and he has a seaman stripe? He'll beat the fuck out of you.
Wait, I got that one.
You need to learn how to respect people and talk to them respectfully and on a personal level. And you have to learn how to talk to people differently, because everybody handles different conversations differently, right? And I hopefully he got that. Like, after leaving the Navy, I was doing cocaine, popping pills, drinking over a fifth of vodka a day. Then I had a death experience that changed my life. And this is Sean Ryan.
Yes.
The guy that has the podcast right now that's like...
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, let Thumper take this one over. He loves it.
No, this guy, I mean, the special operations, special warfare community has been secretly taking all these different drugs and stuff while they're in still. I mean, this is something that not just him, not just Sean Ryan has talked about.
Oh, dude, you have to listen to confessionals. There's a guy that gets on in the confessionals that talks about the Super Soldier program. I
Oh,
know
yeah.
you've heard of it. And he said that there's people in the military that get shots, right? And they get shots and they're really strong in one area. So, like, say this guy can bench press like 1,000 pounds, but he can only squat 300 pounds.
Yeah.
That's what the shot did. It's like Compound V from the fucking boys. and and like the thing is they do it with the guys in the special forces and the special operations. They're two different things, right? Special forces is like the Army. Special operations is the Navy.
Well,
Two different categories. They do a lot of
so
the same things, but they do a lot of different stuff too.
special operations is like your Navy divers, EOD, SWIC, and air
SEALs.
rescue. No, SEALs are special warfare.
Yeah.
Special operations and special warfare. NSO and NSW are two different programs.
Then you have special forces.
Which is SF, which is in the Army. And then so you have, and then your Air Force, you have your PJs and all that.
Yep.
Your TAC Ps and all that. So then you have your Delta, which is a mixture of all the branches in that. So
And then you have
yeah,
even something more secret than that no one knows about.
There's so the special
DEI,
operations.
all right? DEI. It's DEI. That's hilarious.
The special operations and special warfare of the military have been experimented on for years using drugs to enhance their performance and everything like that. I've personally seen it overseas when I was a private security contractor, because a lot of the security contractors that I was around were all special forces, special operations.
I got a question for you. Because this brought up in the podcast. Did some of those people burn out and die?
Not over there that I know of.
Because the guy that was on the confessionals is like, hey, some of these people take these shots, they get strong in one area, but they burn out and they break down, and some of them die.
It wouldn't surprise me. I mean, when you're talking about methamphetamines and everything, and the effects it has on your heart and your cardiovascular system, plus having your adrenaline constantly pumping, that right there, just your adrenaline. So it's a proven fact that when first responders here in the United States, cops, firefighters, paramedics, EMTs, when they retire, they typically die within 10 years of retiring, because their body has just been put through its paces with the adrenaline levels going spike and then dumping. And then, so when you take special forces guys that their entire life is nothing but adrenaline, and then you're pumping amphetamines into them as well, then all of a sudden they change commands, or they retire, or they get medically retired or whatever. It wreaks havoc on their body.
You know what? There's a movie that talks about that. You know what movie it is?
There's a song too that's called Adrenaline that talks about the exact same thing.
The movie I'm talking about is Logan. Remember when Logan, Wolverine, takes that one shot and he knows it's going to kill him, but he's trying to save all those kids at the end?
Oh, yeah.
That's exactly what that's talking about. Now, you know, it's crazy because you're seeing this shit in movies, and if you don't know what you're looking at, you won't recognize it.
And it does happen in real life. I mean, and Sean Ryan is very open about his experience and everything. He's talked about it numerous times on his podcast. He talks about going down to I think it's South America, might be Central America.
Why are they talking about it now if he's talked about it before?
Because he actually sat down with the reporter and actually put it out there, because it's always been on his podcast, but this is a national thing. Like, this isn't just his podcast.
Dude, his podcast gets more views than those stupid national news outlets.
It does definitely. But he wants to get it out there and let people know, hey, this is what's going on, because it's intertwined with PTSD, depression, anxiety, the life of an operator, and not just an operator, because I've seen it in the combat side, you know, of military. You know, it's Yeah, exactly. I didn't know how to slow down. I wasn't used to dealing with normal life. That right there, I can actually,
Vouch
I
for
don't know
that.
how many times I've said that. My op tempo, it's crazy to say because everybody, you guys know the op tempo of the USS Fife. We were gone all the time.
Well, the funny thing is like when I got out of the Navy, I told Heidi I want to join a motorcycle gang. I don't think I
So
can.
my op tempo was probably 4 times what the Fife was. And I mean, when I was in country, even in Iraq when I was in the Navy, and then when I was in Afghanistan as a private security contractor, then when I was in Iraq as a private security contractor, you know, and I haven't actually talked a lot about the private security contracting in Iraq. My op tempo was so fucking high, it was ridiculous because I took out Iraqi units into cities and towns and villages and pushed ISIS out of those. And what I did was I was an advisor to them. So in 2016 in Mosul, the Iraqi army had its largest victory against ISIS. That was me and a couple guys with an Iraqi army unit, and it was rough, yeah, that right there on the screen is talking about getting an adrenaline hit just to go to score.
Hey, Thumper, we're going to have to talk about this another day.
Yeah.
Where we can expand on your experiences because I think this is probably important. I don't know how many people are going to see this. It may be 100 years and the internet will still exist, and then they're going to talk. They're going to find us one day, and we're going to be fucking international treasures. I wish. And they're gonna see your story, and you're going to talk about it, and they're going to be like, "Oh my God, we're going to gain understanding and wisdom and knowledge from this shit." But we've also been on for almost 4 hours, boys.
But let me hit on this one point.
Yeah.
You talked about the drugs and all that shit.
Yeah.
Where do you think our government learned it from? The fucking Nazis in World War II.
Yes, exactly.
That's where they learned that shit from.
They were
when
using
we brought Nazis over here. That's when they started doing that shit.
Yes. Actually, MDMA. What is MDMA also known as?
Ecstasy.
Yes. Remember when all those movies were popular in 1999, 1998, 2000?
Yeah.
But the thing is mind altering drugs have been used for thousands of years in warfare.
Yeah.
I mean, the German or the Russians were using vodka to help with the Russians to not get so fucking cold in Stalingrad and all these other places. So there's a lot of different things, and it goes back to way before even. Yep. Psilocybin, yep. Yep, mushrooms and shit. Yeah, it's not just amphetamines, it's other things as well. It's to alter the mind to make you braver and take away that fear.
And that's why the SS was so fucking they were hard to beat. The SS
the whole thing though is I mean, real quick, I know we need to go, but in Afghanistan, Camp Leatherneck, Camp Bastion, September of 2012, I was in that large attack against the base. It was the most expensive attack on a U.S. installation in history. The guys that came into that base were from Pakistan. There was 3 teams of 21. They split off. One was going for the Prince, Harry, I think it was at the time that was there. He was a Apache helicopter pilot. They all were
the motherfucker
drugs.
that's divorcing Meghan Markle.
I don't know. Are they divorcing?
He got played by a fucking chick.
I don't know, but they actually had drugs they were chewing on while they were attacking us. So I mean, this isn't just our thing. It's other places. Yeah, ketamine. I can talk about ketamine a lot. I used it as a paramedic on patients for multiple things.
Sorry, my bad. I was just following along your story. I don't keep trying to fucking.
Yeah. No. Ketamine that's a big one because it doesn't depress your respiratory system. So what's awesome is like an opiate, like fentanyl, will make you stop breathing, or morphine will make you stop breathing. Ketamine will not. It does not depress your your respiratory system, but it does help disassociate your brain from your body and everything that's going on. And it works wonders. And I can tell you, because I made a drip, I used a 500 milliliter saline solution. I put ketamine into that, and I had a patient that had brittle bone syndrome disease.
Oh,
And
like
she had,
Mr. Glass?
yes. And she had fallen, and she shattered, like, I think it was like 12 bones that day. And
shit. Damn.
yeah, and I started a ketamine drip. It was the first time she's ever had one. I was the first medic to ever give her one, and she was like, "Oh my God, this stuff is amazing." She's like, "I don't feel the pain. I'm still able to know what's going on." And she goes, "I feel amazing." And I was like, "Good, it's doing its job. I'm probably going to break more bones moving you, just so you know." And I did, and she didn't feel it because it worked that well.
Did you?
So
I'll tell you this story. The first bust I ever got was a guy on ketamine as an MA.
mhm.
But
Yeah.
anyways, I want to show you guys a fucking hat. This is my new chief hat.
Fuck your chief hat.
We already know that.
No one else has seen it.
Oh,
Yes, they have.
that's
Yes,
the new tricorn we were talking about.
Yeah, I'm wearing this shit on the fucking 4th of July, and fuck you
Then
if you
why
don't
are
like
you
it.
fucking putting it out there now?
Because I want people to do it too, because it'll be fucking hilarious. and
You
great.
ass hat.
No, I wear my, never mind.
I know. It's for another time.
Yeah.
You can have your tricorn hat. I got something else. So
I got this and fat people behind me.
because we're gonna be out there on the 4th of July doing a live stream together.
That would
Wait.
be awesome, man.
You said
We're going
you said that
to.
was
What?
yeah, definitely.
Rock,
you
said
you,
that
was-
better
that
start
picture was
stocking some
DEI.
fireworks.
Yes, you stop the fireworks, goddammit. Now, Thumper, the cabin, yes or no? I need to know so I can go ahead and fucking book it.
I'm down. That
Now,
cabin.
Rocky, did you look at it? How far away is that from you?
Give me the fucking real address because I couldn't find
I
the
can't get the real address till I book it.
Yeah, they
Just
won't
look-
give it to you.
It's probably
Just
about
look.
10. It's probably like 5-10 miles away.
But just look at the fucking where it's at on the map
Okay.
and let us know.
I'll let
I-
you know.
Because I need to go ahead and book that bitch if we're going to book it.
Yeah, dude, I can't
Well,
wait.
all right. Let's close this out and we'll discuss this outside.
Yes.
All right, sailors. Oh, Mr. Krabs is talking right now. Or the
Fuck
pirate.
off here.
You fuck up, fucker. I'm going to talk like Mr. Krabs because it's fun. And if anyone doesn't like it, they can suck my cock. Anyways. Fifers departing.